Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Agent Boomer. This is my co-host, Troy Pacelli.
Hello. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful time.
I'm not. Yeah, I'd be having a wonderful time if the price of bacon wasn't skyrocketing.
I bought a whole bunch of bacon and put it in the freezer because I didn't know if we'd even have bacon come Thanksgiving to make my stuffing.
Let me tell you something. There may not be bacon on top of the turkey this year. And let me tell you, one of the great joys of Thanksgiving dinner is getting that bacon off of the top. And, no one's going to eat it because it was just there for flavoring. Well, I think I'll just make that disappear, if you know what I mean. Okay? And that might not be. It might be a piece of salt pork. I don't want that.
I've been and we'll probably talk more about this as we get into the stream. But I work in a supply based industry, and I know exactly what's going on, and I've got very much my finger on the pulse of the supply woes right now. So I know that stuff is not available and when it's not going to be available and when the prices are going to go up. So I told Nanette, if you want to have stuffing in the turkey with bacon the way we make it, we need to buy a bunch of bacon, drop it in the freezer, and let's go ahead and get our ham for Christmas. And we bought a whole bunch of other things because otherwise we just won't have those things this year.
I was thinking maybe turkey bacon on top, but isn't that kind of redundant?
Yeah,
it's not that funny, I guess.
But then
you can use turkey bacon in your stuffing, huh?
Turkey bacon is from the devil. No, it should never be served anywhere.
I had it in a hospital once. It was one of the better things at that hospital. Anyway, okay. Let's see what else is going on.
Price of gas is about to double, which until this winter and we start turning on our heat hasn't mattered to me because it's not like I'm driving anywhere.
I keep going to the gas station and it's like, it's we're not at 3 yet. Don't worry, we're at 3. Okay. We're not at 3:15. Okay. But anyway, we'll talk more about the supply chain later. Let's say hi to the chat.
Hi, chat. How you doing?
Okay. Team Ghost Planet, welcome.
Chris P, how you doing, my friend?
P. Yeah, I don't think you can stay, but be sure to re-listen to us. We're going to have some good stuff on today. Auditor Dread.
Yep.
Netters Network. Did I miss anybody?
Horizon
Talker.
Oh, hey, Horizon Talker.
Hey, Zootopia, how you doing? All right, and like I said toward the stream, we might have Mr. Matchstick popping on, doing a...
Yep, Zootopia. Yep, we got you.
Doing a DC Fandome update. And like I said,
he attended DC Fandome, so you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Inclusion and diversity is what DC is all about.
Okay, Mr. Negative. That's a Spider-Man villain. Never mind. Okay.
I'm not even being negative. That's what they say themselves. Over and over. We
like diversity. We like Anyway, what was I talking about? I forgot. Yeah, I was just saying guest segment though, and like I said, if anybody ever wants to come on and do like a short guest segment, like there's a news story that week you particularly want to share with us, we can have you pop on at the end. Just let
absolutely
give me advance warning, as long as you're not going to show us any weird videos.
Yeah, right.
But we won't get into that. But no good old days tonight. We will have one next week. We're not giving it up. It's going to be a special one next week. But got a lot of news to cover. But how are you doing this week, Troy?
I am doing well. The weekend went way too fast. I don't know what the heck happened to it. Of course, I spent most of today making videos, so that's where most of that went.
That's what happens. Are you familiar with I think, is it Zapp's New Orleans chips? Or maybe not Zapp's. Maybe it's just these New Orleans potato chips that are showing on the store shelves lately.
No.
Okay. They come in 3 flavors: Crawtastic, Voodoo, and Evil Eye. Okay.
Well, Crawtastic probably has like a shrimp flavor, right?
I think what they do with these chips is the stuff that they boil the crawfish in, that's the spice they use to flavor the chips, okay?
That makes sense.
That's what I think it is.
Let me tell you, I've been at the Asian store. They have these crackers, chips, I don't know what you'd call them, that are shrimp flavored, and I get them every time I go. I really like them.
Shrimp flavored chips? Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I know it's weird, but I really like them.
Is that like a Lay's flavor that didn't make it? Like when they were in that contest
they're not exactly potato chips. They're more like
so it's like
like Funyuns, kind of like Funyuns.
Okay, so it's like pork rinds except with shrimp. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What do I like though? But the Evil Eye chips, they have the creepiest bag. You should take a look at it online sometime. Evil Eye chips.
Okay.
And they're like have kind of like a sweet and sour flavor to them. And then there's the Voodoo chips, which are kind of vinegary, I think. But yeah, they're all pretty good. But because it's Nolans and everything's kind of creepy and gothic out there.
Oh, that is weird.
Or overseas, the Evil Eye chips. You like that bag? And
yeah, that's actually really creepy.
It's a cool bag, I think. Yeah.
If you have tryptophobia, that would kind of bother you.
Zootopia, I would like to give my thoughts on the new Bond sometime. I saw it yesterday. It took me off. I'm going to talk a little bit about it tonight, but I haven't seen it. When I do see it, yeah, maybe we can have you jump on, because I don't want to give a post-mortem until I've actually seen it, but I don't really want to have to pay money to see it. And I know there are probably other ways, but we won't discuss those here. But I figure it's going to come to some streaming service at some point, or it'll come to DVD. But we'll talk about that. Let's get into the news, I think. Shrimp chips, they're awesome. Horizon Talker agrees with you. Okay.
Good. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Yay. I don't know. Is this a bad week? It's not terrible. Not everything is bad, right? Sort of.
And even some of the bad stuff has a silver lining.
Silver lining, yeah. We are not machines. Hollywood workers poised to strike for better conditions.
Yeah.
We talked a bit about this last week. This seems to be an ongoing story. We are not machines. Okay.
Yeah, I really did dig into this a bit last week when I saw it was coming, and I think it's absolutely going to happen. First off, this is the writers, I think, are going on strike too in solidarity, but
oh, good for them.
This is absolutely, like I said, we have situations where people are working 12 to 18 hours a day.
Yeah, let me read. I'll read a bit from the article.
Go for it.
Of course, it goes on for a bit, so I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing. But at the start of the pandemic, Hollywood productions abruptly shut down, leaving many workers out of work before things began to resume with pandemic safety protocols in place. I love how I have to use the pandemic. I always say pandemic instead of C-19. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Since then, workers in Hollywood say they have worked long schedules and endured increased workloads, including staggering work because of social distancing, wearing and distributing personal protective equipment through long work days, and regularly getting tested for the disease of choice right now. Okay,
the disease of unknown origin.
Yes. We were working at breakneck speeds, and that was something that was supposed to have changed. You're supposed to have the time we needed to work in that kind of environment, said Mike Loomer, a set dresser in Hollywood and Internal Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, Local 44 member. The only thing that changed is what we had to endure to make the product that they have had to get out for the public to see. Studios will again go quiet around the United States as IATSE leaders say its 60,000 members will go on strike from 12:01 p.m. 12:01 Pacific time on Monday if a deal is not reached with employers. That's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as I've heard, you know what? Let me do a reality check. Let me see. IATSE strike. Let's see what the most recent info is. Well, 10 hours ago, New York Times is saying Hollywood, behind the scenes, workers reach deal averting strike.
But we don't know the details.
We don't know the details yet. We'll have to see.
Let me read a couple more quotes from this. Union members say these grueling schedules have led to car accidents during work commutes and caused or worsened medical problems. I've heard this sort of thing happening. I heard this happen to one of the people on the Titanic set many, many years ago. The ramp up in production.
Hold on. Let me update you.
What happened?
IATSE and AMPTP reach a deal which members may still reject. In other words, the union leaders have said yay, but the members may not accept it.
You only have to work 13-hour days instead of 14-hour days. So
yeah.
But anyway, though, but I do like this quote, though. The ramp-up of production just made the work and life situation unbearable. We can't work at that feverish pace. We are not machines. We are people that need rest, Loomer said. Mm-hmm. Working in Hollywood is not just wrap parties and red carpet events. It is a factory job where we move the factory and set it up every day before we do our shift. The amount of physical labor that is required to make an hour of television, it's unbearable to the average person. I can believe it.
Yeah.
Contract negotiations are ongoing, as we just said. Another quote, though. The product that we're making is much more valuable, but yet the contracts have not changed. If anything, they've gone in reverse, so our labor is worth more, but we're not getting paid more, and that's not fair. Victor Boozy, a sound mixer in IATSE local 695 member in Hollywood.
Yeah, they pronounce it IATSE.
IATSE, okay. He said that.
Be very careful how you say that, though.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sure I'll get a fair hearing. Anyway, he said.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
He said that through the pandemic, he has been working so much that he often has nightmares about work. That film industry workers are standing up to these conditions as part of a broader labor movement fight against the multi-billion-dollar companies like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Netflix, which are deeply embedded in the entertainment industry. I thought that they were the good guys. I'm kidding, of course. The workers are getting squeezed more and more for their labor as the profits are getting higher, added Boozy. That's the cost, our mental health, to make this product that we're not being fully compensated for, and people are starting to understand that. Okay? So
I saw one sign that one of the workers had, food and sleep not negotiable. That's kind of fair. I kind of get that.
I have to give Alfred Hitchcock credit. He always, I think he always kept a strict schedule. It's like, we get in there at 9 and we stop at 5 or something. You know what I mean? It was like,
yeah.
I hope some good comes from the strike or the settlement. These workers need some basic work rights. Yeah. So,
but let me give you the update from Vulture. They're saying, broad strokes of the deal were shared by IATSE in a series of bullet points, including 10-hour turnaround times between shifts, increased meal penalties, and a living wage for the lowest paid workers on set. And although that strike was averted, many IATSE members are still not happy. Basically, nothing has changed, Los Angeles-based DP Ernesto Lamelli told Variety. I have not heard a single person say they will vote yes.
Okay. So that does sound too promising. Okay, so
that's the way the union is supposed to work. The union heads may agree to something. They'll take it back to the members. The members get to vote on it. So we'll see what happens.
At 12:01 Monday, okay, they're already mentioning this. Who will be affected by the strike? This is some basic questions in case you all were wondering, okay? Some 60,000 workers employed on dramatic scripted TV shows and feature films will walk off the job if no deal is reached by Monday.
Yep.
So could this be a stalling tactic?
I don't think so. I think this is pretty hardline, clear stuff. I mean,
okay.
It's pretty ridiculous. When they're getting you to work 18-hour days and you literally get 3 hours to go to a hotel, sleep, and get back. Come on. People cannot function that way. And then you got to go all day possibly without eating. It's getting ridiculous.
Wouldn't it make more
And I'll tell you something else. Now they're starting to look at, okay, great. Now, not only are you putting our products out on, commercial television and at the movie theaters and on your streaming service and anything, we don't see $1 of the down revenue that you guys are making off of our work. That ain't going to fly.
It's odd they don't try to, if they're going to be, if they need to have shoots that are that long, why don't they use rotating crews? Or would that, I don't know.
I don't know. That could be a union thing too.
Okay, I don't know. But anyway, they said additionally crews who work on non-unionized reality shows and other unscripted programs may also be unaffected. So I guess reality shows, they may not be unionized? I didn't know about that.
But here's the thing. Just because you're not unionized doesn't mean you have no collective bargaining ability. If they decided, you know what, we want in on this thing. Either you do this, that, and the other for us, or we walk too. They're kind of screwed. Keep in mind, we are not talking about, unpaid interns here. Somebody off the street going and getting coffee. We're talking about highly skilled engineers, sound people, gaffers, people that, if they don't do their job right, people get hurt or killed.
Yeah. The lighting people, the light falls on somebody, that could...
You go to the movies and you see a film and you watch the credits at the end, especially if you're watching all the way through because there's going to be some stinger at the end. You see all those names going by you and you may not know who the gaffer and the best boy are and what they do. But I'll tell you what, if they didn't do their job right, you'd notice it. If you notice bad editing or sound that doesn't sound right, or a stray shadow from off stage, cross somebody's face, you notice when they didn't do their job right. When you don't notice what they've done, they did a good job.
Like the boom mic hitting, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
One of the funniest movies I ever saw, Black Dynamite. It was like a parody of the black exploitation movies. There's like a very obvious boom mic, and the guy's delivering a dramatic line. And he keeps looking up at the boom mic as he's doing it, because it's making fun of all the stuff.
We commented on that last night on Netter's Network. We did a rewatch of Baby Boom from, what was it, 1987. Little babies in Harold Ramis's arms, and she's looking and pointing up, and then it's like, what's she pointing at? I said, I'll bet you it was the boom mic.
Probably. It's usually not so bad that you don't notice it at least the first time, but like in this Black Dynamite, they made it really bad.
Well, they do that intentionally
because kept going up and down.
Yeah, whenever they want to break the fourth wall, they did a lot of stuff like that in the Austin Powers films.
Yeah, Black Dynamite is a lot like the Austin Powers movie. It's that kind of spoof.
But this is what I'm talking about, though. If it's done professionally, you never notice those things, and that's kind of not fair because those people are integral and I would say even more important than the actors. Those actors are a dime a dozen. Sometimes you can replace those actors with people off the street. You can't do that with these technical jobs.
No. Yeah, it's skills, and it's acquired through a lot of experience, hard plus training. But those on strike will not be able to claim unemployment benefits in states like California. Isn't that interesting? Let's see. How will my TV shows or movies be affected? Studios will not be able to replace union crews, in effect shutting down the vast majority of scripted TV shows and feature film production nationwide. You know what pops in my head? Let's not have another shortened bowl season, because that's going to happen. Okay. Anyway.
Well, I personally, how is this going to affect me? Not at all. I haven't noticed. Over the past 2 years, I'm so used to not seeing anything, I won't even notice.
That's because you didn't follow Michael Weatherly up to his next show. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. This is a unique circumstance because these are highly skilled workers, not to mention the hazard of untrained workers dealing with, for example, heavy equipment electricity. Yeah, you may not want someone not experienced dealing with electricity, right?
Yeah, all you need is someone to flip the wrong switch and all the lights go out. And that costs millions.
Some shows like ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live will come off the air immediately. Others could have episode release dates delayed or even canceled. Oh no, no more late night show on NBC and CBS. Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, late night Seth Meyers, late show with Stephen Colbert would not be affected as they are staffed by workers from a different union, the Internal Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Okay.
Well, but I would not be surprised if you get a last minute notification that if IATSE goes on strike, the other unions will go on strike in solidarity. And good on them. I mean, I am not a big proponent of, these institutionalized unions that exist just to perpetuate themselves, but I am a supporter of the concept of
collective bargaining.
Collective bargaining, and these guys really do deserve this, And I said this when ScarJo went into her lawsuit. These companies knew this was coming because it happened with syndication, it happened with home video, it happened with cable. Now it's happening with streaming. People are coming and saying, no, you don't get to be enriched by my work. I get to be paid too. Where are my residuals?
Yeah. Our address says, so is the strike back on? We think so, based on what we're hearing, but
yeah,
we don't.
IATSE is saying no. We've come to an agreement, but the workers themselves have not voted on it yet, and it's sounding like the workers are not going to go for it, and they are going to strike. We won't know until we get up tomorrow morning.
We'll Google and Amazon fortify the union strike.
like they fortified the presidential election. Yeah,
only if they're mail-in ballots. Okay, but anyway, good riddance to Jimmy Soy Boy Kimmel. Well, that's the opinions of the Agent Boomer channel are not reflected in that comment. We love Jimmy Kimmel, right? I'm kidding. Anyway. Colbert hasn't been funny since the Colbert Report. Yeah, a lot of them are not funny. Jimmy Fallon, I'm telling you, not the brightest lamp in the shed. I'm just saying. Okay, but
most of these celebutards aren't.
Remember how late night I used to watch like many years ago when it was Letterman and Leno. You can still watch them. Now they're like, it's just they're unwatchable. Okay, but anyway, let's move on. We have other news. We have Alan Horn retiring as Disney Studios Chief Creative Officer. This is a big deal.
Yeah, and I directly connected this to the next one. Well, go ahead. You go ahead and give the background on it.
Okay. Alan Horn will retire as Chief Creative Officer of Disney Studios Content, capping a successful nearly decade-long run at the Walt Disney Company. It's always said company. I guess that's friendlier than corporation.
I don't know.
Anyway, okay. So it was one that saw Horn stabilize the film operation after a tumultuous period when Rich Ross took the reins for 3 tumultuous years.
Mm-hmm.
Used tumultuous twice there, writer. Okay. Under Horn,
I swear these articles, they don't edit them anymore. I think I do better editing on our notes for this show than they do in their published articles.
Okay. Anyway, this is Variety. Come on. This is a big deal. Big deal. Just maybe find another cinnamon. Okay. Under Horn, Disney successfully integrated Marvel's film operations, rebooted the Star Wars film franchise after buying Lucasfilm in 2012, and maintained its dominance in the animation space. Horn, hearing a hissing?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's not me.
No, I don't hear anything.
If you don't hear it, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. Horn had been expected to step down with Disney chairman Bob Iger, a close ally who was leaving the company in this December. Bob Chapic took over as CEO of Disney in 2020. Iger wrote in his autobiography that Horn was his best hire. It was also a decision that may have sparked regrets. In the Time Warner empire, the company pushed Horn out as Warner Brothers chief, replacing him with Jeff Robinoff, who exited the studio in 2013 after a stormy tenure. Okay. We should have been doing this story back then. This show back then. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay. Horn will retire from the company as of December 31st. He led the Walt Disney Studios. Okay. I think I already read that already. Okay, it has been a great privilege and pleasure to be able to spend these past 50 years helping creative people tell stories that move, entertain, and connect audiences around the world, and a dream come true to have the chance to do it at Disney, no less, said Horn. I'm deeply thankful to Bob Iger for the opportunity he gave me, and to Alan Bergman for being an incredible partner throughout this adventure, as well as to Bob Chapek for his steady leadership during these unprecedented times. I also must recognize the extraordinary leaders of our individual studios, as well as our business teams, and every single one of our fantastic team members. It's never easy to say goodbye to a place you love, which is why I've done it slowly. But with Alan Bergman leading the way, I'm confident the incredible studios team will keep putting magic out there for years to come. All right. I wouldn't say the sequel trilogy was magical, but I'm just okay. It has truly been a privilege to work for Alan over the years, said Chapek. He's led an exceptionally talented studio team that is the best in the industry, creating some of the most beloved and iconic films of our time, and he will forever be cherished member of our Disney family. Okay, well, what do you think so far, huh? I don't know.
Actually, I think you should.
I can read more quotes kissing his butt if you'd like. Okay.
Well, exactly what I was going to say. What is your initial take first? Because you should by this point know what I'm going to say. We've been doing this long enough. I think you know me.
You think he's being forced out?
Oh, absolutely he is.
Okay.
This is a bunch of, strokey, blow the horns, say how great this guy is,
and get out of the city now.
But here's what I didn't hear in there. All through all of this, what I did not hear, why is he retiring? He's not an old man.
He's retiring to spend more time with the family.
Yeah. What does that usually mean? Yeah. So he is. They were talking about all kinds of changes that were going to be happening at Disney. Here's another one. And just like Kamran Pasha said they were going to do with Kathleen Kennedy, he gets all the accolades and the thank you. You're so great. He's retiring. He's going on to do other things. We'll always remember him fondly. Get the fuck out.
Maybe he doesn't like Bob Chapek. Says, I can't work with this man anymore. I'm out of here.
Could be.
I don't know.
Because I know that's exactly, despite what the article says and what he'll say publicly, that's how Bob Chapek feels about him.
Yeah.
And this is just it. It really is Bob Chapek. He's taken over there now. This was, well past due.
So
and now he's cleaning house.
He puts one of his people in there now.
Presumably, yeah.
Okay, so now we have the next article, okay?
Which I think directly relates, yeah.
Kevin Feige praises Bob Chapek after Black Widow lawsuit. That sounds really bad.
Yeah.
And who caused the lawsuit?
Well, officially, it was just...
sure it was. ScarJo and her lawyer.
It was ScarJo, and she acted alone. But yeah, go ahead, read the article.
Okay. So, let's see. So it seems that Kevin Feige is a bit happier with Disney CEO Bob Chapek since the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow lawsuit has been settled. This was revealed in a recent feature in The Hollywood Reporter, and it sounds as though Feige and Chapek are now seeing eye to eye. Here's what was said in the article about Feige and his thoughts on Chapek. Marvel boss Kevin Feige won't address the Johansson litigation, but while he is not known for discussing Disney internal politics, he says the still new CEO is being underestimated. I think he is a creative guy, a nice guy, a real guy, Feige says, adding that Chapek offers just enough of an opinion to give good feedback on early cuts of movies and shows. What do you think, Mr. Pacelli?
If you listen to that, okay?
I'm sorry.
Just the way. Well, I think it's actually worse than that.
On the surface level, it seems like butt kissing. If you dig a little deeper,
it's kind of backhanded. What's he saying? It basically sounds like somebody saying, "Yeah, this is a numbers guy who doesn't know anything about creativity." He gives some, good insights, early on in the process, but what's unsaid is he doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's doing a good job, because he won this round. But I'll get you next time, Bob Chapek.
No, you're not.
Next time.
No, you're not.
Well, that's what it sounds like he's saying, though.
He thinks he's the boss because he's Marvel boss, so he thinks he can go toe to toe with this guy who's the okay. I think he is a creative guy, a nice guy, a real guy. Well, what does that mean? He was cussing him out like a couple months ago, wasn't he?
Exactly. So on the one hand, he's definitely lost a battle, and he recognizes it, and he needs to bow back into place. He does not want to lose his job. Plus, I think he knows, I'm sure he knows, that the next outing for Marvel, which is the Eternals, is going to crash and to burn.
Yeah, I don't know. We keep saying it's possible. For instance, I don't think that Shang-Chi was the big success everybody in the media was touting it to be. I think it was kind of a flash in the pan myself, but Eternals, I don't know anyone who's excited for this movie.
Nobody.
Okay. But give good feedback on early cuts of movies and shows. Does that include those Marvel shows on Disney Plus that no one seems to like? It's weird. It's like Marvel had the opposite problem. Like, everybody loved the movies for the most part, and everybody hates the shows, whereas they like the Star Wars shows but hate the movies. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's like,
there's something to be said for that. But what does that come down to? It has nothing to do, in other words, that tells you it has nothing to do with the media. It has to do with who the showrunner is and how good a product is they're putting out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I need to do more research on who Feige is and how he got in charge of. Was he always in charge of Marvel, or did he come onto it?
No, I'm telling you, the guy that started it, the guy that started all the success and all of this shared universe stuff was Jon Favreau.
I remember when Iron Man came out, and I thought it was actually really cool that you had all these different studios, basically, one hand washes the other. And we're going to allow our characters to interact with each other in the different movies. So you had Universal with Incredible Hulk, you had Paramount with Thor and Captain America, and who did Iron Man? Was that also Paramount? Might have also been Paramount, but I just got the impression that it was different.
Yeah.
Different studios.
What happened was Kevin Feige came in at the height of the success of Marvel, and he rode the wave. And then when Favreau left and he was kind of put in a position where he had to kind of take over, it was kind of like the guys that were doing the Game of Thrones. They started doing their own thing, and it completely fell apart. And it shows you who was actually the talent behind it.
Yep. All right, we got some comments here. Let's see. Ageber, I wouldn't be too down on the Marvel shows. Practically everyone I've talked to IRL liked Loki. The hostility to it exists almost entirely online. Okay. I don't know. I should ask my my coworkers who are Disney files and see if they like these Marvel shows. Okay. Auditor Dread, Chapek, you're a funny guy, Horn. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last. Chapek, remember how I told you I was going to kill you last? Yeah, Chapek, you did. I know, I lied. Yes, from the great classic movie Commando. Anybody see that? Remember?
Yeah.
With Arnold.
Yep.
That has some of the best stupid dialogue. Don't bother my friend. He's dead tired. When he's on the plane.
Dead tired.
He snaps the guy's neck. And then he opens up the plane and jumps out of it like while it's taking off. And he jumps into a swamp and he just goes and takes out all the... Never mind. Actually, the guy who played Matrix, he was in that... he was on one of those streams you were talking about, right? For the Norm movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. Troy Pacelli. Oh, not Matrix, man. Horizon Talker has something for you too. Okay. Let's not forget Joss Whedon. Everybody tries to bury his role in the MCU, but he was influential for the first two phases. That's true. He did do the first Avengers movie and the second one, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but the problem with that is he wasn't the overall showrunner, though. See, that's the problem. Who's the overall showrunner? It went from Favreau to Kevin Feige. You know, I mean, because and we said every step of the way, it's the showrunner that makes the difference in how all of these films work together. And we all said this is what Warner Brothers is lacking on the DC side. They had Zack Snyder kind of, and you know
he wasn't doing exactly a bang up job, and certainly not to the level of Favreau. You know,
no. Well, Favreau, they moved him over to. They gave him the Lion King, the Lion King, the live action one, the
right.
live action one. It was really CG, but you know that was. I guess that was well, I don't know if it was a step up, but it was a sideways step. That's a big deal, right? To do a big Disney property like that, right? I don't know.
I mean, from what I understand, it didn't suck. Just the existence of it never should have happened.
Did he do the Jungle Book redo as well? Was that Favreau as well?
I don't know.
It might have been. That one was kind of interesting. That one wasn't terrible. The Jungle Book version. Of course, you had a real person in that, along with the CG animals. But you had Christopher Walken as King Louis.
That's right.
Which I kind of.
That was actually pretty good. I gotta admit that.
And I think one of the actors from the Ray Romano show was Baloo. It wasn't bad voice casting, but all right. Moving on. That was back when I still was okay with Disney, but we want to be okay with Disney, and I'd like to be okay with Bond. But we're going to talk a little bit about Bond, not about the specifics of the latest movie, though I would imagine if you had wanted to see it by now, you would have, right?
Yeah, I will not be watching it.
I'll watch it.
Don't worry about spoilers on my account because I already know the spoilers and don't give a fuck.
I like to know context of things, so I'm not going to talk about it till I know what the reasoning behind some of the decisions I've heard they made for that movie are, but I do just want to watch it. I've watched, it's funny, I've ever since GoldenEye, I didn't see GoldenEye in the theater, but when I watched it, I went and made sure I saw every Bond movie in the theater. Did not care about seeing this one in the theater, so I guess that should say something.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else left to say about Chapic and Feige, or
no?
We'll be monitoring the situation. Is this the Scott Mendelson article from Forbes? Yes. Okay. This I want to read because I might be.
Hey, this is numbers. Let's just put out the numbers.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and do a cut and paste here. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm telling you, I'm hearing some kind of static. Do me a favor. Wait 1 sec. I'm going to try something. Okay.
Okay.
Let me try. If I disappear, don't worry.
Sure. Technical difficulties, folks. Just bear with us while Agent Boomer does his boomering.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, I'm still hearing. Okay. Didn't work, but we'll move on. Okay.
You're still hearing his?
A little bit. It could be my headphones for all I know.
It could just be your head.
It could be just be my, okay.
I mean, I keep hearing, some sniffling going on.
Is that me?
Yes, it's you.
Do I sniffle a lot? Oh,
you've been sniffling a lot through yeah. I know you have the hay fever.
The
or
weather needs to change down here. Okay, No Time to Die box office. James Bond scores personal best 6.3 million in Thursday previews. Okay, wow. Okay, so this is Scott Mendelson. After nearly 2 years of pandemic-specific delays, it was supposed to release on April 2nd, 2020, and was the first tentpole pushed back in advance of the pandemic. Eon Productions and MGM's No Time to Die finally arrived in North America theaters. The $250 million Daniel Craig starring James Bond actioner grossed $6.3 million in Thursday evening previews, a figure that also includes IMAX-only previews Wednesday night. Best preview figure yet for a James Bond movie. It's also understandably lower than the youth-skewing likes of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Shang-Chi. Way back when Quantum of Solace scored $2.8 million from preview showings in November of 2008 on its way to a $67 million debut weekend, 4 years later, the acclaimed and buzzy Skyfall earned $2.2 million via IMAX Thursday grosses and an additional $2.4 million in conventional late-night Friday showings back in 2012. It would earn $90 million over its Thursday to Sunday debut during a time when midnight previews and advanced night showings were far less of a general audience targeted event. 3 years later, the less buzzy Spectre earned $5.25 million in Thursday previews in November of 2015 toward a $70 million domestic launch. So if you go just by Spectre comparisons, we're looking at $84 million domestic launch. The increase anticipation due to the delays and the gotta find out what happens in Daniel Craig's last 007 movie factor may lead to weekend front loading. The James Bond series has never really had a finale of this nature. Yeah, okay. As such, there is more see it before it gets spoiled value than Quantum of Solace or Tomorrow Never Dies. So yes, I would expect more front loading compared to an old school Bond flick, but the 007 series has long been a general audience's casual moviegoers pick compared to, say, the Twilight Saga or the later MCU flicks. If Cary Fukunaga's No Time to Die plays like F9 or Mission Impossible Fallout, it earned a 62 to 64 million Friday to Sunday debut that would just be fine with the something curve. I hate this article. Okay,
he can't write. He is a crap writer.
I cannot stand this. Okay.
In fact, I would say whenever you get to Scotty's
articles, what you really should do is just in advance of the show, read through them, do bullet points, and be done with it.
I know.
Because the guy cannot write.
It didn't seem that long to me, but this is terrible. Okay, that would qualify as disappointing even if it matched up with the adjusted for. Okay, so it gets the film $48 million. Okay. All right. Yeah, he can't. Okay. You know what? We may not be doing one of his articles again. Okay.
So let's get to the bottom line here.
Well, I wanted to get to what he says at the end. Okay. The 007. Okay, he's trying a bunch of word salad, saying that this release is not that bad, but this is qualifies. But he says this would qualify it as disappointing, even if it matched up with the unadjusted 47 million launch of Die Another Day back in 2002. He keeps bringing up all these old movies, okay? Oh, you know, this didn't do so well. They did
without saying whether or not he's adjusting for inflation. That's important.
Ridiculous, okay? The 007 series has often existed in a quasi-vacuum in terms of rival franchises, many which skew younger or more fantastical. For those not into horror nostalgia, Halloween Kills, Ghostbusters Afterlife, fantastical sci-fi, Dune, Matrix, kid-targeted tunes, Encanto, Sing 2, or Superheroes Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home. No Time to Die, well, plenty of time to be the biggest, only game in town for a very long time. I'm expecting a launch closer to 84 million than 48 million. However, even if it skews closer to 64 million, No Time to Die has, say it with me now, all the time in the world. He's trying to put his positive spin on this. What world is he living in here, okay?
Left-wing Comistania?
No, I don't understand this. Like, he's saying that the people who don't want to see Halloween Kills or Ghostbusters Afterlife, those are very different audiences for both of those movies, okay? Am I wrong here?
I don't know.
Like, one's a slasher movie, one's more fantastical. And Dune, Matrix Resurrections, again, very different movies, okay? Eternal, Spider-Man No Way Home, okay, those are two superhero movies. I don't get it. I used to think you could maybe throw Bond in.
And just for the record, updated statistics, No Time to Die, their opening ended up being 55 million, and its current worldwide is 448 million.
Okay, but it trailed off in the United States. That's mainly what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, it only got a 99 million this weekend.
99 million?
Or this week, yeah.
Okay.
99 million US.
total from the previous weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
For the whole,
all right.
for the past week.
Okay.
And it's dropping. So
Well, I think one of the reasons this thing's getting hit, though, is because what did they say, $1 billion to break even? That's what we'd heard
yep.
a few weeks ago. Okay, but I wanted to read this article, too. Though Daniel Craig's outing as James Bond won't be one for the box office records, at least he's being more honest than the previous guy. Okay. No Time to Die easily took the top spot in North America, directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga and co-starring Rami Malek, Leigh Seydoux, Natasha Lynch, Ray Fiennes in the latest 007 adventure debuted at $56 million over the weekend. Okay. But despite opening slightly behind expectations, No Time to Die marks a positive step forward for the movie theater business, which has struggled to rebound from the pandemic. So here we have an author saying that maybe not all is not lost for movies, okay?
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
Okay, but box office experts predict the momentum for No Time to Die in Sony's comic book sequel, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which smashed pandemic records early in October, portends an especially busy fall and winter at the movies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I want to get through this article. Here are 5 takeaways from Bond's latest box office mission, okay? Older audiences aren't ready to return to theaters. Hollywood hoped Bond, a long-running franchise that has always been particularly popular among older crowds, would bring those moviegoers back in a bigger way to the lukewarm ticket sales for The Sopranos prequels, Many Saints of Newark, Clint Eastwood's Western, Cry Macho. I would argue both of those were available on HBO Max. That might have been part of the reason for that. But
Well, I think that's kind of what they're saying, too.
yeah. No Time to Die sold more tickets to moviegoers over 45 than any other pandemic-era movie. I think this is interesting, and I know Clownfish TV was talking about it. They were arguing against this, that's not the reason the movie did badly, but I'm actually starting to wonder if Bond has an audience with younger generations.
I think it's very difficult to generalize with these movies. And unfortunately, these writers and especially the studios really do try to do that. They try to say, well, the pandemic this, and, the industry that, and, demographics, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is it's getting harder and harder to ignore the one cardinal truth. What matters is quality. People get pissed off about the SJW bullshit. They get pissed off by crap that's said about the fans online. They revolt against these things. And all of those other things do come into it. That's true. But bottom line, the cream rises to the top. But so does shit. So, just saying.
This is my thoughts, too, on this latest one. I saw Spectre in the theater. I did not enjoy Spectre at all. It's not the only bad Bond movie we've ever had. If you go back in time, we've had plenty of other bad Bond movies. View to a Kill is not a good movie. Okay.
Well, that's the other thing, right?
Forever, I think, is a bit of a train wreck. We've had bad Bond movies.
When you look at specific movies, particularly sequels, you can look at the horizon of all the other movies that have come out around it, but you absolutely have to look at its predecessor. How did it do? If people were pissed off about the previous movie, they're not going to come see this one. You don't have to look farther than Star Wars to know that.
Yeah, but of course, this guy goes on to say young men aren't sweating variants, just like audio audiences have been more or less absent from theaters. Another consistency has been boys and men buying tickets at force. For No Time to Die, audiences skewed heavily male. Representing 64% of ticket sales. So were those young men? I thought he was just saying it was the older crowd. Okay. This is also the case in Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I don't know.
Again, they're playing this numbers game with demographics when the reality is they're going about it the wrong way. They're instead of trying to make a good product, they're saying, well, what do these people want? What do these people want? How do we please everybody? Look, just if you're going to make a James Bond movie, make a good James Bond movie, and don't sweat
well, what would girls like, and what would men like, and what would boys like, and what would women like, and what would trans people like, and who are we gonna have in the diversity pool here? Just make a good James Bond movie, and everyone will like it. Everyone that would like it, and everyone who wouldn't, doesn't matter what else you put into it.
Auto Dread makes up a really good point here. Hot take: I prefer Brosnan over Craig. Maybe I have a bias due to GoldenEye 64. I'm going to say something. I am the same way. Pierce Brosnan was my Bond. He was the Bond I grew up with. I'm not saying his movies are perfect, but they were at least fun. Okay.
See, I can't even contribute there because I hated Timothy Dalton so much that I wasn't there when they finally gave it to Brosnan. I think Brosnan should have gotten it back when Timothy Dalton got it. He got screwed over because of Remington Steele.
Remington Steele. They were going to give it to him earlier on.
Yeah.
I am going to say this. No, totally. He's his own Bond. They're not like the Dalton movies. Okay. It's funny. They actually had 2 other Dalton movies planned, which sounded kind of interesting, but they never got made because License to Kill was kind of a bomb. Mm-hmm. It almost destroyed the franchise because that movie did not do well at the box office. But
I really did like that promo that you sent me.
That was for GoldenEye, and I sent that promo to you on purpose. That was the promo that a young Gen Xer, like a Gen Xer like me or you, would have seen back in the day. That, hey, Bond is back, and it's trying to make it still the classic character. He's just in a new world.
And I did love, especially because it was
the Cold War.
Especially because it was Pierce Brosnan when he said, because he's the one that's in shadow and he does the turn and shoots. And then when he steps forward and the light hits his face, he goes, "What? You were expecting someone else?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's back then. I would have reacted so positively to that because I had been pissed that he wasn't James Bond earlier.
No, this was meant to be a renewal of the James Bond series. They'd always wanted Pierce Brosnan anyway. It took them a while, I think. I don't remember when License to Kill was that 89, I believe, or 88. It was later 80s. We didn't get and I don't think we got GoldenEye until 95. It was a few years to get that one off the ground. And Auditor Dread makes a point that the GoldenEye video game came out. It was this very popular first-person shooter for Nintendo systems came out, and it was based on the GoldenEye movie, and that introduced a whole generation to this character of James Bond. New media, basically. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I don't know who the Daniel Craig Bond movies are for at this point. For starters, forget about video games. I haven't seen a Bond video game in ages, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if they gave up on that. They were doing some with Craig years back, but I think they've stopped that. I don't
because their audience is not game players. It's middle-aged Karens, I think.
I don't know who's going to see these movies now, and it's funny because I kept thinking Craig was too old to be playing Bond at this point, but he really wasn't much older than Brosnan was when he finally had stepped down. So maybe he just seems older, but it does seem like an older, stodgier series at this point. I think they got embarrassed when they did Die Another Day because you had CG, and I think Pierce Brosnan was snowboarding after, in one scene.
So,
silly. But I don't care. I mean, whatever problems that movie had, I still had a good time. I mean,
what I'm curious about, though, is what is the future of Bond after this? I mean,
no, I don't think there is one.
Minor spoiler, it does end with the old James Bond tag, James Bond will return, which,
well,
I'm not sure if that's them saying we are definitely planning to do another James Bond movie, or if that's the same kind of thing as like History of the World Part 1, where they announce a sequel that they never actually intend to make good on.
Here's what it is. They've always said James Bond will return. The weird thing was when Daniel Craig started it, they rebooted the series. Probably because the continuity had all gotten all messed up over a while. You know what was terrifying? What I learned, I kept complaining during the Brosnan era, where's Spectre, where's Blofeld? Why can't we get Blofeld back? The Eon Productions company didn't have the rights to Spectre or Blofeld. It was a big, nasty court thing that happened going all the way back to the days of Ian Fleming writing the books and the screenwriting work.
That doesn't surprise me. That really is
they finally get Spectre and Blofeld back, and apparently they threw them away in this last movie. Not that I want to spoil anything, especially for a movie I haven't seen myself. Okay?
This is what I've been saying all along about a lot of this stuff. We blame all the SJW bullshit, but a lot of it is
courts,
rights-related stuff, and what they can and can't use, and licensing and stuff like that. I mean, that's clearly what destroyed Star Trek. Licensing by people that wanted to make their own money and not give it to someone else. That's also what happened with Star Wars. It's what happens with all of this.
But to be fair, though, even without Spectre or Blofeld, you can still make a great Bond movie. Goldfinger, that didn't have either of those in it. It was still considered one of the best Bond movies ever made. Spy Who Loved Me, which oddly enough was originally planned to have Spectre and Blofeld in it, but they couldn't get the rights.
Bottom line, what they need to do is, if you want to do, and I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's James Bond, Friday the 13th, Halloween. If you want to do anything with those franchises, you need to make sure you own the rights to them. If you don't, fuck it. Leave it alone. Let it die. Let somebody else have it. It's not yours anyway. But if you can get all of the rights, then go back to square one and do it right. Now, if you want to do James Bond, make sure you get the rights to everything. Then go back to square one, set it back in the 50s and 60s, do it as a period piece, and do it book by book.
I'd love to see that. I don't think they're going to do that. I thought they were going to do that with Craig. They were going to modernize the old stories, but they were also going to be adapting. You'd see Goldfinger and Dr. No adapted later on.
And guess what? We never saw that.
No, we didn't see that because I thought that's the reason they're starting with Casino Royale, and we're going to get, instead of Smersh, they created this organization called Quantum, which they didn't even say what it was in the first movie. In Quantum of Solace, it was called Quantum. I almost thought it was a bunch of evil globalists when I saw it, so I thought it was kind of, because Smersh were the original bad organization. They were Soviet-based, and then later on we ran into Spectre, which was a different organization. You understand?
Well, nobody wants to see current stuff. They just don't. People do not want... I mean, because all you're going to do is piss off half your audience. The best thing you could do is go back and do a period piece.
Yeah, they did do a Wii version of GoldenEye, the game, but they replaced Craig with Brosnan. No, replaced Brosnan with Craig in that game. And I don't know if it did well or not. I played it for a bit. It was weird because it was based on the movie, not on the original game, but it was able to use the same... Since both were based on the original sets, it still had some things in common. It was a little
Wasn't that a first-person shooter?
Another first-person shooter. They've been wanting to remake GoldenEye for years, but that's another thing that's tied up in rights oblivion. So they...
What they really need to do is they need to get a good story for it, and then use whatever engine it is they use for... What is that assassin game where...
Unreal?
No, the one that Green Lion Girl was doing with the assassin, the bald guy.
Oh, Hitman.
Hitman, yeah. Use that engine.
Well, no, before that they were... Well, it's funny, they did do some that were third person. They did a From Russia with Love game that actually they got Sean Connery to play Bond in it, which I thought was kind of funny.
Oh, neat.
And he was older at that point because, I think he may even retired from acting, but they had him... His voice was a little more gravelly than it was in the 60s when he made the movie, obviously. Yeah. But they got him to voice the character in the game. But anyway, I don't know who the audience for Bond is at this point, though. Is it me? Is it the Zoomers? Do the Zoomers know anything about it?
Well, the makers of it would say it's not for you because they want to make it for a new audience. The new hip soy SJW crowd that is uninterested in it. Yup. Yep, you're absolutely right.
And just from what I've heard, I'm going to go into more in this movie. I have to know how it's... I know the general bad things about it, but I have to... Anyway, I've spent too much time on this. This is nonsense. I thought I was going to have more to say on this. It's just, I don't know. They are saying, though, it's time for Bond. Bond may need to economize. Yeah, I would argue at $250 million, that's a huge chunk of change to be spending on a Bond movie.
And you don't need to spend that much money on a Bond film.
No. To be fair, one thing, if you ever watch the older Bond movies from the 60s, it is interesting to see movies of that period where the producers actually put more money into the sequels rather than less.
Yeah, that's
to the
true.
point when they got up to You Only Live Twice, the set for that, one of the sets for that, cost as much as the original production of Dr. No. That's how much more money they were spending on them. But eventually, then they have to par down because a movie doesn't do well. Like, I think after On Her Majesty's Secret Service, they had to par down production. And you'll notice Man with the Golden Gun and Live and Let Die, they're not bad films by any means, but you can tell that they weren't spending quite the amount of money they were from the height of the Connery era. You know?
Well, and I also question sometimes why they spend the money that they do. You know, these big grandiose sets for just a couple of scenes. Was it really worth it? Did it make the movie better? Really?
Well, I'm going to argue for Spy Who Loved Me, they really needed to spend the money on that one. Do you know why?
Why?
Guess what came out the same summer as it? A little movie called Star Wars.
Yeah.
And if Bond had come up short, see, if at least if the audience is going to see Star Wars and they see the Bond movie is also this bigger production, I'll go see that. So I'm saying maybe $100 million and not $250 million. Though that's all I'm saying. You know, it's.
Well, the one thing I will say about The Spy Who Loved Me, it has one of my favorite James Bond themes.
Oh, it's a great soundtrack. The disco Bond theme at the beginning, or are you thinking of the theme song?
I'm talking about the theme song.
Of course.
Carly Simon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. Nobody does it better.
Nope.
All right.
Nobody does it better than the original James Bonds, and I'll pluralize that.
Yeah, I know. The different engines, I'm sure, have rights issues too for games. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, talking about Halloween Kills. Everyone's favorite subject matter, right? Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. It's doing well though. But here's another example though. It's like all these movies are doing well, and then when a movie doesn't do well, they blame the pandemic. But then when something does well, they ignore the pandemic.
That's exactly why nobody is buying the pandemic thing anymore. Because people are going, no. There's been too many movies that have broken records for pre-pandemic. So don't give me that stuff.
This is interesting. There's something. This is from Saturday morning. It's probably made more money since then. There's something interesting here with the overperformance of Universal, Blumhouse, Miramax. That's a lot of studios. Okay, Halloween Kills, the pick, well ahead of its mid 30 million to 40 million projection, is arguably the highest opening we've seen during the pandemic for a theatrical day and date non-transactional title with 50.60 million.
It's now at worldwide 55.9 million.
Yeah, I wonder if it gives in here what it costs to make, because horror movies are usually far cheaper to make. Doesn't include Disney Plus Premiere Fare, whereby those subscribers have to fork over an additional $29.99 to watch the title. All of this bodes well for Warner Brothers and Legendary's domestic launch of Dune next weekend, also on HBO Max, as a great opening could raise that pick's profile heading into Oscar season. Halloween Kills' big opening here is a testament to Universal's marketing machine to open the title. The pick was blasted through the media's Congo Symphony program, meaning it's blitz throughout all Comcast, NBC, Universal ancillaries. This created a situation where tracking was extremely hot well before the movie was made to go day and date with the sequel on Peacock, while the first movie carried a global P&A for $75.5 million. I understand that this one is definitely north of that, though lower than $100 million. Okay. It's still a bit more money than I thought it would have cost. But what's interesting is this. They make a point that this was day and date with Peacock. If you have Peacock, you can watch it. Okay, if you're paying for Peacock, that's the Universal's streaming service.
But that's exactly what
they're thinking. Peacock may not even making a dent here at the box office, as Comcast, NBC, Universal is truly starving to build their OTT platform. So I think people are just ignoring the fact it's on Peacock and going to the theater to see this movie.
Because people want to get out, people want to enjoy the theater experience again. I think the companies are overlooking that aspect of. I mean, if you're going to keep moaning and complaining about the pandemic, this and the lockdowns, that, you got to really pay attention to how this is affecting people and what they want. You know, if you want to be ahead of the curve and not reactionary, because at this point, these studios cannot afford to be reactionary.
Yeah. So basically what this article is getting at is even with the Peacock day and date, this is the kind of opening that they're seeing.
Yeah, it says, turns out that exposition had confidence in the sequel's tracking, and Universal provided very good terms to movie theaters due to the Peacock pivot. One small exhibitor tells Deadline that they're taking home a 45% rental of Halloween Kills, which they consider to be very fair. So they actually worked with theaters and gave them a much more generous take of it, right? Is that what I'm getting from this? And
it sounds like it, yeah.
And very happy. Okay.
One thing I would also say is last night I talked with Big Al of Big Al Presents after the stream, offline, so to speak. And we were talking a little bit about this. He's seen it already. Mm-hmm. And he's got a video coming out, if it hasn't already dropped, where he does his review. I would encourage people to listen to it because he's got some really great insights on this movie and the franchise as a whole.
Okay. I'll look for that video. Like I said, maybe I'll have my own thoughts on it come next week if you're interested. Okay. But
yeah.
Okay. But
I'm actually very behind the curve. I haven't seen any of these most recent films, so it almost wouldn't do me any good to watch this particular one.
Halloween has had fits and restarts and everything, and
I was listening to
I argue why just enjoy the original and maybe skip all the sequels except for 3, which technically isn't a sequel. Okay?
I did see a what would you call it, roundtable discussion on Midnight's Edge, and somebody said that Halloween, the franchise, has kind of been a choose your own adventure sort of a concept. There's basically like 3 different alternate timelines. If you watched them all.
There are. I remember H2O. I didn't hate H2O. I know some people don't like it. That was the one Kevin Williamson scripted. The guy that wrote Scream. He actually wrote the screenplay for that one. That's never had a proper home video release, though, so I haven't bothered even picking that up. But it's... I don't know. A young Michelle Williams was in it. Josh Hart in it. It had Laurie Strode, except she was... It's basically a follow-up to Halloween 2. Okay, and she had changed her name and moved away, and Myers gets out again, of course,
What's kind of funny is that you have Jamie Lee Curtis doing sequels to the second movie, and then she comes back and does a sequel to the first movie that ignores the second movie. So she's actually part of the alternate timeline stories.
Here's what's going on. You have Halloween 4. Well, I'm sure Al's going to talk about this. I don't want to take away wind out of his sails, but like 4 starts an alternative thing, but then the H2O ignores 4, 5, and 6. But then H2O and 2 are completely thrown out anyway with the new Blumhouse produced productions. Yeah. It's just it's a mess.
And look, let me just say this about Blumhouse. I know some people don't care for it. Not everything they do is shit. Some of it's okay. Some of it's actually pretty good.
They did something I liked. I don't remember what it was. I should look at their truck because I know they did do one movie. They didn't do those Don't Breathe. Maybe that was Sony. I know Blumhouse did something I liked. I just don't remember what it was. Oh well, never mind. They're
because sometimes there's a movie that you like and you forget that it was done by Blumhouse, right?
I'm gonna probably purposely, yeah, because I don't want to admit that they could have made something good. I'm gonna say this: the Fantasy Island remake movie is so bad.
Oh my god, yeah,
it's so bad.
Are they also the same ones that did the Banana Splits movie?
I don't know. I don't think so. They should have been though.
Oh god.
Red Letter Media did a thing about Blumhouse saying that there's like a big secret, like they basically greenlight anything that has a low budget and just throw it out there, and that's why.
But think about the history of horror movies, though, right? That's kind of the history of horror movies. There's all these low budget horror movies out there. There's a ton of them, and most of them are hot garbage. But every now and again, you'll find a gem. Blumhouse seems to be exactly the same way.
That's the weird thing about horror movies, and I think that's why horror, unlike a lot of film genres, you'll have current fans going back and watching the older stuff, because I think just quality stands the test of time.
Yeah.
And, we'll see who's watching what in 50 years,
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. Because everybody was about H2O a few years ago, and nobody talks about it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, though. Oh yeah. Okay. Speaking of horror shows. Okay.
Well, actually, before you get into that, do you want to jump down to the UK one?
Oh yeah, Home Alone. Yeah, that's
maybe that was a bad order.
I almost thought that should have been it. Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. We can do that. Okay.
Okay.
I have to go through all my notes, all my tedious cutting. There's so much crap in these things but a lot of it's good with those supply chain ones. It's like it's really okay. Are y'all excited for another sequel / reboot? We have
this one
Home
is
Sweet
odd.
Home Alone. The Home Alone sequel we've all been asking for, right?
Nobody's been asking
Come on. This will lead into our next story about, okay. Because I almost think there's a way to contemporize this. Okay. You know what? You're not going to get the link. Just, okay. Home Alone, UK. Home Alone's newest incarnation. This is from Digital Spy. Home Alone's newest incarnation now has its first trailer, and it appears to confirm that there is a link between the new movie and the original 1990 classic. See? They're not ignoring fans of the original, okay? Don't be so negative. Home Sweet Home Alone, which will debut exclusively on Disney Plus on November 12th, introduces a new young hero who is forced to defend his home after being accidentally left alone over the festive season. But the familiar plot isn't the only element of the movie that fans may recognize. At about 45 seconds into the movie's trailer, which you can watch above, we get a glimpse of a police officer arriving at the house with a close-up of the officer's name badge reading McAllister, taking center stage for a moment. I watched the trailer when that part came up, and I'm like, what am I seeing here? I didn't even notice it was, I thought it was McAllister Residence or something, like, maybe they bought the house that they used to live in. No, okay. This officer, but this is about the police officer. This officer, in fact, is played by actor Devin Rattray, who played Kevin's tormenting older brother, Buzz McAllister, in the original Home Alone movies. Going by the trailer, it seems that the former bully might have turned over a new leaf. The trailer also introduces us to Max Mercer, Jojo Rabbit star Archie Yates, a mischievous and resourceful young boy who struggles to be noticed at home and is inadvertently left behind when his family jets off to Japan for Christmas. Who goes to Japan for Christmas? I've heard expats over in Japan, they say do not stay in Japan at Christmas time. Things get hectic over there. Okay, Max doesn't seem to mind too much, though, as he enjoys creating himself sweet-filled feasts and trying out some extreme stunts using his garden furniture. But his fun takes a different turn when married couple Pam, the office star Ellie Kemper, and Jeff, Deadpool 2's Rob Delaney, try to retrieve a priceless heirloom and set their sights on the Mercer family home, leaving Max to protect his house from the trespassers by any means necessary. And despite the chaos, Max soon realizes that there really is no place like home. What do we think? Did you watch the trailer?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What do you think?
Really, all it is almost point-for-point remake of the original, set in the UK with different names.
Yeah, but it's you got the
which also
British...
begs the question: how is Buzz a police officer?
Okay.
In the UK.
Are you sure it's not a British family that bought a house in the United States and then decided to take a trip to Japan?
I don't know. Could be. I don't know. But that makes it even worse. It's just another U.S. family. I don't know. It would have made more sense if it was in the UK.
Maybe Buzz got a police officer's job in the UK after leaving to go. I don't know. None of this trailer made sense. I think we have a young British boy in it because the glasses, it has that Harry Potter trigger in your head. The kids will watch it, right? What do you think?
Fat Harry Potter.
Anyway.
Harry Porker, maybe.
Anyway, listen. They have to differentiate it from the original, okay? Can't just be the same old, same old. This is like a...
Didn't they do that with each of the subsequent sequels? Wasn't there like 3 or 4 sequels with a different kid in each one?
No, Home Alone 2 had Macaulay Culkin again. Home Alone 2, I think, is a solid enough sequel. I know
You're right.
people
You're
like,
right.
some people are like,
I
they
forgot
just did the
that.
first one again or whatever. No, that's not exactly the same. But you know what? It was still fun.
Yeah.
I still liked it. I think it's almost on par with the original, and it's, you know, you got the Wet Bandits back, which were an important part of the Home Alone series. You know, having the thieves back, and you introduced Tim Curry as the hotel manager, who's also kind of a foil for Kevin. You know, did you notice that? And it's not bad. It takes place in New York City, you know, during Christmas time, and you know, you have your other things like the lady that feeds the pigeons in the park, and the old man that runs the toy store, you know, and you know, different things. Anyway, I don't know. It was, you know, it was a good enough sequel. Okay, that's the thing. Like Beverly Hills Cop 2, as good as the first one, no, but good enough in its own right, yes. Okay, did I enjoy watching it? Yes. Okay, and now we get sequels that are not even half as good as the original, and I don't know how this one's going to be. I know that unfortunately I am not a Disney Plus subscriber, so I'll have to skip out of this one this year. So,
Oh, I'm sure that's just tragic for you.
now I had an interesting thing. I think this feeds into our next topic. Would it have been interesting if the married couple that are trying to rob the house are just looking for some toys for their children for Christmas?
They're like down on their luck. They weren't able to get any
Or the
toys.
supply chain is messed up.
I'll tell you what, that would have made for a much more interesting story, and you could argue a much deeper story than just doing a
Maybe
flat out
got
remake.
laid off. Maybe it's not the kids they're trying, so they figure no one's at the house. We'll just take a couple things from there to put under the tree.
Right.
I mean, maybe that wouldn't be good either, but it would have been something different. I don't know. There was, you know, Home Alone 3 didn't take place at Christmas time, and it involved international spies trying to steal something from the house, and it didn't have Macaulay Culkin in it. It was a different family. What do you think of that? It has nothing to do with. I don't know. Okay.
No. I mean, let's face it. One could even argue, and I've heard this argument made. Home Alone was basically a pint-sized version of Die Hard.
It's funny you say pint-sized version of Straw Dogs. I said a kid's version of Die Hard. I always thought it was like when I saw Straw Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is an adult version of Home Alone with Dustin Hoffman, the extremely violent Sam Peckinpah movie.
Interesting. Yeah.
Welsh hillbillies are attacking his house in the English countryside, and he's having to rig traps around it to prevent them from coming inside, and it's a very violent movie. Okay, Horizon Talker, I can confirm that the shoulder patch on Buzz's uniform doesn't match New York, Chicago, or London. Oh, well, of course. Okay. I guess we'll figure it out.
Maybe it takes place in Warsaw. I don't know.
All right. Oh, by the way, there was a funny poster for Home Alone. I think it was called Home Alone. Home Alone Road to Forgiveness, and it had an older Macaulay Culkin and an older Joe Pesci and what's his name? I should know his name.
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern, thank you. And it was like and it almost looked like a Pure Flix movie, you know. Like, you know what? I forgive you, like we forgive you for doing all this stuff to us when you were a kid. Like, you know, it was like.
And I have mentioned, right, that a buddy of mine was one of the body doubles for Daniel Stern in Home Alone.
No way.
Yeah, there's that scene where I don't remember if it was like he was putting money in the can for the Salvation Army, something like that.
Yeah.
And they do a close up on his hands.
That was a pickup shot that they didn't need Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern for, and my buddy he's tall and thin just like Daniel Stern, and you know he was an extra on the show anyway, so they pulled him in and you know put him in the outfit with the gloves, and he did the close-up shot.
It was like so that was in Home Alone 2, right, with the sticky bandits.
Oh,
right?
Maybe it was, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that because he wanted to change the name from the wet bandits to the sticky bandits. I think he had tape to his glove, and he would take money out of the Salvation Army bins and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And Joe Pesci didn't like that either. He said, "That's really sick." You know that it's like it's
that kind of a story does give a little bit of dimension to characters. You know, like they're despicable and they'll steal from a kid's home at Christmas time. But you know, taking from the Salvation Army is maybe going a bit far.
Yeah, like Joe Pesci didn't like the fact that he would run the water and flood each house. It's like, why are you doing that? Okay, you know, we're stealing. You don't have to destroy the property. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Like, no, we're the wet bandits. And, of course, at the end of the movie, the police officer's like, oh, good, and now we know the location of every house you've robbed. Because of all
Bingo, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Supply lines. Crisis could cancel Christmas and Halloween. Don't wait until Black Friday to start your holiday shopping. Here's why you need to shop now. This is not from some crank outfit. This is from mainstream media. This is USA Today.
Yep.
It's only October, but it's already the time to start your holiday shopping in earnest. For years, Thanksgiving and Black Friday have marked the official kickoff to the holiday shopping season and the time of year when shoppers get focused on holiday spending. Last year, retailers pushed a longer shopping season with more online sales amid the pandemic. This year, the third week of November is too late to get started. With widespread supply chain disruptions and labor shortages continuing, procrastinating on purchasing some gifts, especially toys and electronics, could end up hitting your wallet. Prices are rising, and product inventory will be more limited because of consumer demand and availability. The biggest wild card of the holiday season, and this is a quote, biggest wild card of the holiday season is product availability, so you might be out of luck if you wait too long to buy the hot toy from your kid's wish list, says Laurie Schott with the Toy Insider. Shopping for holiday gifts in October may seem like something only the overachievers do, but this year it'll be essential to finding those coveted toys in time for the holidays. According to a Retail Mail survey of 1,100 consumers, 37% of shoppers began their holiday shopping between August and September, if not earlier. An additional 22% said they'd start shopping in October, and 24% plan to start in November ahead of Thanksgiving. Black Friday and early December are going to be in the center of a perfect storm of high demand, low staffing, slow shipping, and difficulties restocking. Kristen McGrath, a shopping expert and editor at deal website Retail Mail, told USA Today. I want to talk a bit about the slow shipping.
Yep.
I ordered a Blu-ray of that of The Evil, right?
Sure.
I'm planning to do that. Spoiler for the rewatch on the 31st, but I ordered that from Walmart, and it took well over 2 weeks to get here. Okay, I didn't think it was going to get to me. Okay, it kept saying, "Oh, it's on its way. It's almost there," and it's like a week later, it finally comes in. You know, it's.
I can tell you from my perspective, I work for a company that manufactures and ships the raw materials for a lot of your cleaning products. And it is almost impossible to get truck drivers for loads. It is very, very difficult. And so what's ending up happening is we're not getting in the raw materials to make the chemicals. We can't get the chemicals to our customers. And then that means that your customers can't put together your detergents, fabric softeners, dryer sheets, whatever it is. That's why you're seeing all of these empty shelves. Every step of the way requires truck drivers. And if those truck drivers aren't available, nothing's going out. Then just look at the news. Look at all the stuff that's coming into the United States sitting on barges out in California in the Bay.
Yeah, and they say a lot of these ports are in California, right?
Yep. And, congratulations, federal government and California government. You have made yourselves a shithole of a sandwich. Time to take a bite out of it. And what does POTUS come out and say? The potato POTUS come out and say?
What?
He says we'll manage this we'll be working 24 hours a day trying to unload these. Yeah, what the fuck good is that going to do? 24 hours a day
You can't even get that many people to do that much work, and that doesn't get you any more trucks to get that shit out of California.
I have a very bad feeling about all this. I think there are going to be a lot of unhappy kids on Christmas morning, but maybe
Look, I have no sympathy for California. You had your recall and you fucked it. You were happy with what was going on, so now you got to fucking live with it.
I have another question too. They had one person from the White House. They were going on. They were saying, "Oh, if you're like me and you wait to 2 days before Christmas, you're going to be in trouble." Ha ha. Maybe some people want to start in October. I'm thinking, most people start their Christmas shopping right after Thanksgiving. That's when they start Christmas shopping. Okay,
right
in the holiday period. That's when they get their
Or if
Christmas
you're like my
bonus
wife,
gift.
you started shopping, right after Christmas, and you've had your gifts for over a year.
That's fine, but a lot of things get released too in November. A lot of the hot like a lot of games and stuff would get released in November.
Yeah.
So maybe some hot toy gets released in November to be in time for the Christmas season. Okay.
And we all know how easy it is to get games and game systems these days, right?
It's apparently you have to now pay to join a membership of certain sites to be able to pre-order something now. Like to pre-order one of these game consoles. That's another story. I think that was over at Best Buy. I don't know if that's to shield the scalpers or if that's to scalp the customers. I don't know what's going on. Okay, what did I want to say though? But and then you had some other expert on there saying, if your kid doesn't get the exact name brand thing, it might be good for them. They shouldn't expect this stuff. And I'm saying it's not up for you to.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's not up to you to determine what's good for my kid. If I'm just.
You're not doing your job, so you're trying to spin it a different way. You failed, and you're trying to make it sound like a good thing. Fuck you.
So what? Some kid's not going to get a Tonka truck this year because of the sports situation. This is not.
But
good.
the fact is that some people aren't going to fucking eat this holiday season. To hell with the toys.
I am getting very worried about the turkey situation going on.
Turkey, bacon.
There'd better be turkey available for Thanksgiving, or I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be very mad. It's I know. I got to think what's really important, right?
What's really important is the preservation of our fucking country and our economy. These things. It may seem trivial, but they are harbingers of really, really bad things.
Autodress says, haha, getting a PlayStation 5 is basically like playing the lottery. You can't. I don't even think you can buy the previous models anymore. I was looking online to see if anybody was selling the old model Xbox One. No, I don't see it anywhere. Maybe I didn't look enough places, but I'm starting to think this whole chip situation is affecting a lot of electronics.
But
it's
another
can of worms. Though.
These two articles actually go right together because it's not just Halloween, or it's not just Christmas. The Halloween shelves are empty. I have a buddy that I really shouldn't say what store he works for. It's
just say
it's a national
someone
chain.
in the business, okay?
Yeah, he works for a national chain, and he said our store and all the stores around us and all the ones across the country that he knows of can't get anything for Halloween. It's completely empty. The only thing they can get here in the Chicago area is the candy, because the candy is made locally.
Look at this. Global supply chain crisis haunts Halloween. Shelves are already stripped bare, leaving shoppers scrambling for costumes as holiday chaos becomes reality. Click on the link if you want to see some of the pictures of these store shelves. I'm a little flabbergasted by all this. I'm thinking, I hope you already have your own. I hope you're looking to buy Halloween decorations this year, because they're not out.
Yep.
Halloween is under threat from supply chain chaos as distraught shoppers are already battling empty shelves and canceled orders weeks ahead of festivities. This means stores are having canceled orders too?
Yep.
Costumes, decorations, and candy remain held up in ports due to a shortage of truck drivers, warehouse space, and bottlenecks in the network. Customers are already venting their fury after having to forgo Halloween last year due to the pandemic, only to be faced with the prospect of another muted celebration this year due to supply issues.
I'm going to tell you all something right now. If your product is on a barge out in the bay, then it wasn't fucking made in America, was it?
Nope. China.
And And this is exactly why Orange Man was saying we need to bring this stuff back to the U.S. Not because he was a fucking racist, because he knew this shit was going to happen. He was a fucking businessman. Dollars and cents, people, not your fucking fifis.
Well, I'm sure everyone in the chat understands. This is generally.
No, I'm not really yelling at our chat. I am yelling at any of the trolls out there that might come and listen to this later on and get all, oh, you're a phobaista. What a fuck you. Reality is fucking reality.
It says an employee at Spirit Halloween in Layton, Utah said, our selection was really good between the middle of September and end of September. Once October hit, it was gone.
Yeah. This is kind of why, honestly, when it comes to costuming, I'm so glad we do our own costuming. And as far as the like Ghostbusters stuff, we already got all of that stuff.
Yeah, but some people don't do the cosplay thing. They just buy a costume each year. This is going to ruin their Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I looked at, because last year we had gotten the Proton packs from Spirit Halloween. Really, really good. This year they put out a new version that's corrected a few minor things and changed the lights and stuff. And as a perfectionist, I looked at them and I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't need to spend another $140 on two more, Proton packs when I could very easily customize my own. Then come to find out, no one can fucking get anything because of this shit. Oh, well, I guess I made the right choice then, didn't I?
One shopper, oh look, we have online people disappointed with Target and their lack of stocking their shelves with Halloween
Oh, fuck
decor.
Target. This Target has not been able to manage their shipping for over 5 years. This has nothing to do with the current situation. That's Target because they're fucked up.
Okay. One Halloween store in Florida said it has been a nightmare trying to navigate the supply chain issues, which are also threatening to derail Christmas. Chrissy Barters, the owner of Red-Headed Witches, told NBC2, we are very excited that Halloween season is here. We are under some crazy experience where shipping is a nightmare. Getting product is a nightmare. Our wholesaler can't get product because the cargo ships are stuck waiting to unload.
It's getting harder and harder for people to sit in the burning pub with their drink, fire all around them and go, oh, this is fine. Everything's okay here. Yeah. People that aren't paying attention to simple economics and even the legacy media are starting to notice the empty shelves and not being able to get stuff for Christmas. And when their kids are crying because, they're getting socks for Christmas, well, guess what? Who did you vote for, dumbass? Did you vote for the potato, or did you vote for the guy that wrote nasty tweets? Because at least you're not getting nasty tweets now.
Yeah, we're getting stories about hair that curls up on the leg and all that. Okay.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Yeah.
You're going to see all kinds. Oh no, wait, what's going on? Greg Rex Kohner, founder of Halloween-themed store Rank Brothers in Colorado, told Denver Channel before the pandemic, container cost $1,300 to ship. Now it's $13,000 per container. You're going to see prices on these kinds of things go through the roof.
Tim Pool had an article about, they were making those shipping container houses for low-income people, and they had a bunch of projects that have all been put on hold because they can't get the shipping containers. And the price of the shipping containers have more than tripled. So it's like even the shitty container homes they can't build anymore. This is a fucked up economy, people.
Do you want to hear a little bit from the POTUS? There's some comments in here from him, okay?
What does the potato have to say? Go for it.
President Joe Biden has tried to avert the crisis during the festive season by touting new commitments from businesses and ports to ease the burden. With the holidays coming up, you might be wondering if gifts you plan to buy will arrive on time, Biden said, acknowledging the crush of commercial and online orders at risk of disruption as the holiday season approaches. I know you're hearing a lot about something called the supply chains and how hard it is to get a range of things from a toaster to sneakers to bicycles to bedroom furniture. He proposed new agreements. This is a big first step moving up the movement of materials and good through the supply chain, Biden said in remarks to the White House. He called new agreement supports unions and shippers a sign of major progress in moving goods from manufacturers to a store and to your front door. His remarks came shortly after White House Press Secretary Troy Pacelli told reporters, "We are not the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx. We cannot guarantee. What we can do is use every lever at the federal government's disposal to reduce delays to ensure that we are addressing bottlenecks in the system, including ports, and the need for them to be open longer hours." So
why didn't you just say we'll circle back to you on that one? Because that's about as intelligent and informative as it would have been.
Okay, so we'll have to wait and see, but maybe we'll hear.
Just remember, Joe Biden was part of the Jimmy Carter administration. Mr. Malaise put on a cardigan. Carter. Okay? We're getting the Carter administration all fucking over again, but 10 times worse. And I knew that's what we would get when he was running. I said, this is going to be Carter all over again. But all these kids don't even know who the fuck Carter was.
Without Horizon Dog says, without revealing how, I have heard about conversations between suppliers and higher ups in Spirit Halloween. They haven't been able to get just about anything this year.
Yep.
So I guess having things made over in China wasn't such a good idea now.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Nope. I tell you, if you want something and you want control over it, it's got to be made here. Okay? And yes, maybe you will pay more for it. Is it worth it to you? Because this is what happens when you get it cheap. Now you don't get it at all. Congratulations.
All right.
That's real cheap. It costs you nothing because you ain't getting it.
Nothing. Okay, so do you think we'll keep our eyes on this topic as we get into the holiday season?
Daniel Herron says, doesn't the post office fall under the executive branch? Yes, it does. And that's a perfect example of what happens when you put the federal government in charge of fucking anything. The same people that people apparently want put in charge of their health care. I said, if you want the health care treated the way the post office handles things, there you go.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe there'll be a Christmas miracle, and everyone will get their toys and turkeys on the table. And
let me just ask you real quick: did you send Matchstick the link?
I did. Is he in the chat?
Okay, good. I didn't see him in the chat, but I sent him a note offline just to make sure he was in with us.
All right, and I sent him a link. So we're gonna do this story next, and hopefully he'll pop in. If not, you and I will be discussing the fandom.
I got a thing or two to say about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure there's some good, right? Come on. All right.
Well, let's look at this next article, and then we'll decide.
Rumor: Marvel and DC Comics to implement new employees' social media policies. Yikes. Okay, so a rumor suggests, I think this was from Bounding in the Comics. Okay, a new rumor suggests that Disney and Warner Brothers have gotten fed up with their Marvel and DC Comics employees, respectively, are saying on social media. That is the rumor put forth.
You don't say.
That is the rumor put forth by YouTube commenter Perch of the aptly named Comics by Perch channel, who believes that the individual social media policies of these companies are shifting in the background, and that these shifts will eventually lead to some sort of domino effect across the industry. Okay, so this might be a good thing. Perch asserts that this change is coming based on recent information shared with him by an inside Marvel source who informed the YouTuber that both Marvel's park revenue and their contracted business agreements are down in the last 2 years, though these particular metrics have objectively been on a downward trajectory for quite some time. He then explains the concept of a double bump, which on a basic level refers to the concept of a company laying people off in 2 phases, each buffered by periods of restructuring with a reduced staff. This usually occurs when stocks take a big tumble at the markets. Such a double bump happens all the time and almost takes the public by surprise, with news of multi-phase layoffs inevitably giving the impression of a sluggish recovery even if the company remains substantially profitable. We already saw this process take place at DC in 2020 when the publisher held multiple rounds of layoffs across the year. I believe we commented on that, right?
Yep.
All of which were aimed at purging most of the publisher's redundancies, editorial staff, and figurettes, including such top executives as Bob Harris and Dan Didio. Those decisions were believed to be corporate ones handed down directly from Warner Media and unrelated to anyone's conduct, at least of all their behavior on social media. However, Perch asserts that the wanton disregard for fans and antagonism seen from numerous creators on social media will soon change, as in the comic industry supervisor of a leaner workforce are not ones to tolerate annoying distractions, and what is irritating said supervisors the most is the constant online activity seen from their staff. Besides the first-hand accounts given to Perch from people he knows, the YouTuber also pointed to how quiet Marvel editors have been on Twitter as of late, particularly regarding their own personal politics and their social causes as evidence of the upcoming change. He further contends that when you look at the social pages of Marvel staffers, their latest posts have been more benign than antagonistic, with only a few exceptions. From what he hears, this is no accident. Perch says it's a result of a directive from their superiors to stop it with the silliness. And he says we'll see more of this. Far from guidelines, Perch asserts that comics companies could begin to respond to the Facebook and Twitter posts of their social media creatives with potential legal consequences, and taking the noise and friction said social media activities attract into account, consequently choose not to work with outspoken comic pros. That is especially true, for instance, for anyone who would accuse another pro of belonging to a hate group. However, if you think this change is being implemented because the publishers care about their alienated customer base, think again. Rather, says Perch, it's being made out of a concern for Disney's own image, as the continued attacks by their employees would be bad publicity, especially in a mainstream media environment obsessed with both polarizing culture and pointing out how polarized said culture has become. Bigwigs.
Take a pause there and really analyze that, though. Okay? That's basically the same thing, right? They're worried about their image. Okay? Why are they worried about their image? Because they're worried about the bottom line. They really are. And they're worried about how this makes them look, right? To their audience as much as anything else.
Yeah. I'm thinking
you have people higher up at Disney, like I said, Bob Chapic and whatnot, who don't give a flying fig about politics. They look at the bottom line. They look at the stockholders coming and saying, where the fuck are our dividends? And that's why they're saying, okay, we got to stop with this bullshit. We got to start making fun freaking money.
Yeah, I mean, and they're talking about they don't want Disney to be part of the polarized culture. Is that what basically this is boiling down to?
Right.
How things are very nasty in this country right now with the polarization on both sides, and they want to, and looking like they now want to just stay out of it.
And if anyone, Disney keeps getting hit with shit online, pointing out their hypocrisy, right? Where they talk about, inclusion, and then they get ratioed in the comments by people pointing out how you've been kowtowing to Disney, thanking, the place that has the camps where people go to think really hard and, so on and so forth. And then they minimize Finn on their Star Wars, what do you call it? It's like, people aren't stupid. You'd be better off not saying anything than saying stuff and letting people rip you apart publicly on it. So when you start talking about, not wanting to be polarizing, and then you got people saying very, very polarizing things, really? I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying, Disney, because your actions or your inaction is speaking so much louder.
Want me to go ahead and add to the stream that thing you wanted me to play earlier?
Well, as an intro to that, this is the reality of what happens when people go shooting their mouth off on social media. Go ahead and share it. This is a video I put up on my channel.
Don't buy my book. Problem solved. Don't buy my book.
Alrighty then.
2 years later.
The industry has contracted, and we're very worried about comics right now.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Problem solved.
There you go. That's it exactly. You know, I gotta say, I kind of yes, she is. She's the gift that keeps on giving. When I put that together, I went looking for that meme, the 2 years later. Came to find out, I didn't realize this. That meme comes from SpongeBob SquarePants. And I was able to find all of those different versions of that. There was none for 2 years later. I actually had to reconstruct it myself from that voice. I think there was one that was like 2,000 years later. I had to edit it to make it 2 years later. But the reason was that literally was an interview she gave 2 years after the one where she says, "Don't buy my books.
You don't like my politics, don't buy my books."
Yep. And that's exactly what has happened. And this is the result. Surprise, surprise. And that leads directly to, hey, you know what? Maybe you guys need to shut your mouth and just make comics. You know, and we all laughed about someone get bleach for my eyes after looking at that woman. I know. But guys, please, I would appreciate that. Video's over on my channel. Go hit the like on that one and share it around. It's less than a minute, and I think it makes for a great meme. And I think people need to be reminded about this bitch.
I was telling you, that should be, I don't know if that's part of the YouTube Shorts program or not, but that'd be a good YouTube short, I think, yeah.
It really is the one that keeps on giving. I've had a lot of people keep coming back. I mean, I guess every time she's back in the news cycle, that video comes up and a person or two will notice it and see it and comment on it. And I have not gotten anything negative. It has all been positive. It has all been people saying, this is hysterical. This bitch deserves it. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm getting at. And honestly, you want to talk about what's happening in the industry. Uncle Ethan has been predicting it. It's all been coming true. Comics are dying. It's like they're trying to kill it.
Well,
and now everybody's worried.
Well, the comic book stores were shutting down.
Yeah.
Why weren't they worried then? They were thinking, we'll sell the libraries.
Because they were still getting paid. They don't care what the sales are. All they care about is they're getting their paycheck, and I can do whatever I want online, and I can get my politics out, and I can be an asshole, and, you know, if you don't like my politics, and now they're worried. Now the sales aren't happening. Now they're possibly going to lose their job. Now suddenly they're starting to get scared.
Well, nothing likes, I'll say this, nothing good lasts forever, nothing bad lasts forever either. So
yeah, nothing is permanent, that's true.
The beginning of a light at the end of the tunnel, we'll see. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but we'll know for certain as time goes on. But Kelly Sue DeConnick helped Aquaman's book get canceled after the film made $1 billion. Yeah, you would think like anyone to go see the Aquaman movie loves it. They want to go buy a comic book, right? And then I guess they didn't because. Correction, comics are dead. The organs are catching up to the brain. Okay. Mr. Matchstick, I don't know if you're here to join us, but I did send you a link if you're listening. Okay, so you can hop into the green room. But DC Fandome was going on this weekend, and our correspondent, Mr. Matchstick, we will be on his channel on Tuesday, by the way. You can see his link in the chat below. You can go ahead and subscribe to him, and in the description on the video. Yes, but give me a sec to get it. Okay. DC Fandome. I saw the trailer for Super Pets.
How was that? Something you're looking forward to?
I wanted you to watch it. You didn't watch it, so
I didn't. That's why I'm asking your opinion.
Here's what it is. It looks like a typical animated, one of these goofy animated movies like Secret Life of Pets stuff, except this has crypto in it. You know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
I don't know. DC Comics killed off crypto, so I don't
They
care
killed
about
off
the cartoon.
crypto. Remember when crypto showed up on Smallville? It
Sort
wasn't
of.
technically crypto. It was a meteor freak dog that
Wasn't
adopted.
Wasn't it like Shelby or something like that? And he goes, "Well, what did you want me to call her? Crypto?"
Yes, probably something like that. I think he says that in the trailer show. Crypto, like Crypto's gonna be on Smallville. I was getting all excited, and of course there was the other evil dog that was exposed to the kryptonite through, I guess, Lex Luthor. That wasn't Lex Luthor. It was some other group that were injecting dogs with the green meteor rock, right? And
I would not. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be opposed to if you want to change something in the comics. You want to change an origin. If they decided they wanted crypto to have an origin more similar to like Streaky the Super Cat, where it got Superman like powers from green meteor rocks, I wouldn't have a problem with it, because I always did think it was kind of funny that so Krypton has human-like creatures on it. It has dog-like creatures on it. Beppo the super monkey. They have monkeys on their planet. I mean, really? I mean, is everything exactly paralleled on Krypton? That doesn't.
I'm
make a lot
gonna
of
say
sense.
this: it's that sort of goofy stuff that showed up on Batman: The Brave and the Bold. I'm just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there was a gorilla Superman. I mean, a gorilla Batman character that showed up in the comic in the episode. All right, I'm gonna add Mr. Matchstick to the stream.
Hey.
Hello, Mr. Matchstick. How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing,
All right,
Matchstick?
So did you
I'm doing
catch
good.
Did you catch DC Fandome? You said you were going to try to talk about anything positive coming from
I
it.
kind of skipped all the interviews and stuff, and just kind of got the trailers and the announcements.
Gotcha.
Oh, I kind of looked at the director's cuts and whatever for the stuff I'm interested in. But I got it right here. I have a PowerPoint presentation.
All right, go ahead and bring it up.
All right, let's see here. Just a second. All right, I think share screen.
Starlit Cats was basically Super Pets, wasn't it? I don't know.
You
what
have to
that
put it
is.
up yourself.
All right,
It's
I'll
in
do
there.
it. Add to stream. Okay. The Good, Bad, Ugly of DC.
I am very concerned just based on that title.
I put the good as I really think it's going to be good, the bad as I really think it's bad, and the ugly as I don't really know. Could be good, could be bad, could be mediocre, could be a bad representation of the heroes or whatever, but it still might be fun.
Sure.
You have to wait and see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
The ugly. Here we got Superman and Lois, which I have not seen it myself, but I hear constantly good things about it. Like,
Okay.
You usually do hear good things about CW shows in their first season.
yeah. But still, it who knows it.
You're unsure, basically.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it could still keep on being a good gift that keeps on going. The Batman. I think it's edgy. I think it's ultra violent. Don't think it's going to be a great representation of the characters. But I do think it's that type of edginess that I will find fun. I think I might enjoy myself with the movie. I don't think I'll like it though.
It's hard to say. I like the Penguin cast in it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Again, Pattinson's the guy that's. Anyway, go ahead though.
I also like the Riddler casting. They just put him in duct tape though.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't really fit the Riddler's character. He should be. He's an egomaniac. He is a costume to reflect that, which is why he wears stylish suits. He wants to be the best person in the room.
True.
Aquaman. I like the first one, and the second one. I love this Black Manta design.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous. Straight out of the comics.
Yeah.
Certain nameless actress is going to sink that film, though.
Yeah, that's the.
Unless they give her a
that's the
little
problem.
screen time. Okay.
She was barely featured in the featurette that they showed, but I don't,
I've just heard a lot of people
bad.
saying they will not see that movie with her in it at all.
Yeah, same here. Shazam. I think it's going to be a good movie.
The next one they're coming out with.
They didn't pick up on the teaser from last movie. They're doing the Daughters of Atlas as the villains instead of Mr. Mind.
Okay. Well, they can still bring Mr. Mind in later too. But
yeah.
Okay.
You got Black Adam, which I like Black Adam's casting. I like The Rock. I like Dr. Fate's casting. Everybody else I don't care for.
So wait, Dr. Fate is going to be a character in Black Adam?
He's going to be played by Pierce Brosnan.
That's actually not bad casting.
Yeah,
and
that was a really
it's
good
very
casting.
clever to put Dr. Fate and Black Adam together. That is some good possible story.
I'm curious because Dr. Fate, that's always getting handed down across the centuries, right? So could he have theoretically been around in ancient Egypt, which I guess is when...
Actually, they're doing the Justice Society. And
I see. So that's what they're doing. Okay.
Yep. And they're doing the Justice Society. They got Dr. Fate, Cyclone, Hawkman, Atom Smasher, and sorry, which one's the last? There's one last one.
Atom Smasher.
All right, I'm gonna have to
was
look
there
it
a Green Lantern character that was?
No.
Okay.
They don't have Flash or Green Lantern.
Probably because they don't want to interfere with. They don't want to.
Yeah.
What they should do is replace Alan Scott Green Lantern with Starman. That would be a good one.
Yeah, but Starman's in Stargirl.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Anyway,
well, wait a minute. This stuff isn't connected to the CW anyway.
Yeah.
No, this is just all the stuff he thinks.
There's one more.
Is see after said at DC Fandome it's everything.
Nope, it's just those four.
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought there was a fifth Justice Society member. No, it's just those four. But I don't like this. I don't like the casting for Cyclone. They ginger-side her.
Oh, yeah. They always do that.
Yeah. For Hawkman, they do a black guy.
Cyclone. I don't remember Cyclone.
She was from the Justice Society comics. I didn't read it. Atom Smasher kind of looks like a pretty boy. Well, I mean, I haven't really seen him in anything, so I wouldn't know his acting. So he could be good.
Well, the main draw is supposed to be Black Adam, though. Is he going to be a villain in this movie?
I think Black Adam. I think Black Adam's going to be the villain, but he's going to be the protagonist.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking. And then Hawkman is a black guy.
Oh,
which is he's a white guy in the comics, but if you wanted to race swap him and make it make sense, you should make him Egyptian.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Which would also tie into Black Adam a bit. You could have him. You got Wonder Woman 3 announcement.
Oh, jeez.
They're doing Wonder Woman 3. Oh, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
Patty
Jenkins, Gal Gadot.
Oh, no.
Hopefully, I really hope they avoid the rape, like in the second movie.
Do I have any good things to say about Wonder Woman 2? I think I thought it was interesting that the villain was somewhat sympathetic, at least toward the end. They didn't just go, "Oh, he's just plain evil." That was a little more interesting. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. Yeah, I had issues with that movie.
Yeah, anyway. They're doing a Blue Beetle HBO Max movie.
Interesting.
Here's the concept art from it.
They're going with the Reyes incarnation.
Reyes, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all I know about it.
Paulie over at Latino Slant had an announcement about the casting because they at least got a Latino actor playing the role. So
that's good.
Why wouldn't you?
Why? Because everything's topsy-turvy these days.
Okay.
Anyway.
Here is probably my favorite thing from throughout this bunch of the ugly. It's the there's going to be an animated movie called Green Lantern Beware My Power. Which I suspect it's going to be tied into this new Tomorrowverse that they have, that Chris Palmer is heading, with Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Justice Society, World War II, and Batman Long Halloween. Okay. He's the last guy from the trilogy.
This is all in the animated sphere, right?
Yeah, okay, movies. They've started a new line of animated movies that I think are in their own continuity. I actually have access to them. I need to watch them.
It's really damn good.
Yes,
they're really fucking good. I am
give those
shocked.
a look.
I'm sorry. I am shocked that DC would let this level of quality be in their products these days.
This is the only reason why I would even pay attention to DC, because some stuff can still slip through the cracks. In the olden days, like when Batman and Robin came out, and that mess, okay? I'm not even going to try and say, oh, it's campy. Batman, the 1960 series was campy. This was just stupid, okay? But Batman and Robin comes out, and then we get the new Batman Adventures, the second Batman animated series, and I really enjoyed that. So it was a... You know, you sometimes with the animated things, the smaller things, they tend to do better. So we'll see. Yeah.
The animated movies, since they ended that last universe of theirs,
that one I didn't like. Yeah.
Except for the Injustice movie, has been knocking it out of the park continuously, movie after movie.
All right. So I'm gonna check. I'll check those out. I have access to them now through.
And then, but if Hal Jordan is actually the last of the big seven that they've. They kind of, because Justice League World War II it's an Earth 2 movie, so it's a kind of Wonder Woman, kind of Aquaman.
Yeah,
but he's the last of the big seven that they haven't introduced into into this new universe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're definitely building up to a Justice League movie, which they're doing what the DC movies should have done. They got a guy, a strong hand leading it, Chris Palmer, and the producers.
Mm-hmm.
They got a slow lead up to a movie, and each movie has actually been good. Not continuously bad stuff, and then a few good movies here and there with like Shazam and Wonder Woman and Aquaman. And then they also announced a new animated movie, Battle for the Super Sons, which.
Well, remember though, at a point, people really liked the Super Sons storyline.
Yeah, but now it's the Super Sons queerness rises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, don't know.
Since it's the animated movies, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Oh wait, I think this might be good. It's gonna be all computer animated. I don't know if it's CGI, but it's gonna be all computer animated, which is the thing I figured out.
Oh, wait a minute.
The next one is...
Is that Guy Gardner?
Yeah.
Oh.
I edited it onto the actor. Yeah, he's the only actor they actually casted in the Green Lantern HBO Max. And which, I think he has a punchable face. I think he has a punchable
which
face.
is kind of appropriate to the character.
Yeah.
Their funniest scene on Young Justice in like the first season, they were saying they did a vote. The council was there, and Hal Jordan and John Stewart, Green Lanterns, were both there, and they said, "How about letting Guy Gardner into the Justice League?" They both in unison said, "No."
But we could really no.
Yes, they both. It was funny because they're both.
He ends up on the Justice League anyway.
Yeah.
After season 2.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but it's headed up by Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns, so it's Greg Berlanti,
right?
But it's Jeff Johns, so I don't know what to make of it.
I'm interested.
On one hand, you got an utter failure who fucked up Green Lantern the movie, and on the other hand, you got Jeff Johns who revolutionized Green Lantern in the comic books.
I like the fact they're doing Guy Gardner, because that's like
they're actually doing a wide variety of.
So they're gonna have John Stewart on there as well, and maybe even Hal Jordan. Okay.
Yeah, Jessica Chu. They actually said Alan Scott too, like Jessica Chu's.
All right.
The Suicide Squad killed Justice League. I'm gonna say it. I don't think this story is gonna be good. I think I do think the gameplay is gonna be good.
So this is from the Warner Brothers game division.
Yeah, it's Rocksteady. Rocksteady has been on the spot with game. It messes it disregards the it's set in the Arkhamverse, but it does a lot of it disregards a lot of things. Like Deathshot was white in the original Arkham games, and now he's black. They lazily
that to match with Will Smith, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and they lazily said it was that the white Deadshot from the original games is an imposter, which I did not like. Yeah, and King Shark in the animated movie is he's killed, and they say this new King Shark is King Shark's son, which I'd say they can get away with that, but yeah. The
Fortune
Justice League
chart.
and the Justice League in this this is it's Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Green Lantern. John Stewart Green Lantern too.
Okay.
I really like Superman and Green Lantern's costumes. Wonder Woman's okay, and then Flash. Whoever designed Flash's costume needs to be fired. I hate that thing. They did every single thing you do wrong with a Flash costume. Wait a second, I'm gonna look this up.
All right. Anyway, Troy, you
I
did
need
not.
to vent.
Okay. You want to show me this costume?
They did everything wrong you could do. I think he's black as well.
Well, we're going to be getting to everything wrong with the Flash in a minute here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Look at
boy.
Everything wrong.
No.
The only thing you can make him wrong is if you give him a nose guard.
Maybe they're trying to make him look more like Hermes, but that's not. No.
They do. The lenses look stupid. I've never seen it done well. I don't like the armor look. I don't like this weird little thing right there.
This is terrible.
The chin strap looks dumb. I also think he's black too. So it's probably Wally West and they ginger
Okay,
him
well, the
again.
new Wally West from like this TV Flash.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
But it's not.
All right, yeah. I know.
And they've done.
Okay.
The video games have also put out my favorite live act. Just to Flash.
Hold on.
Just a second.
So is this what? Is this?
Just a second. But they've also done the best Flash outfit, which is from Injustice 2. Check this out. That is a near perfect Flash.
Oh,
And
I
then
like
you go
that.
for-
That reminds me of the one from the TV show from the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
sure. I don't care for the things on the shoulders, but other than that, it looks pretty darn
And
good.
you need some golden boots. It needs that white emblem. It needs maybe like a lightning belt. But aside from that, it is a near perfect costume.
You know,
Grassfire.
consider this: instead of the white behind the yellow on the emblem, what if it was like a white glowingness? You know, like a light, like an arc reactor type of thing.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
They also did Barry Allen in this perfectly. He wasn't just a clone of Wally West. He was Barry Allen, which I respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're getting up to my thing I want to talk about.
Yeah. Super Pets. It looks fun.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. It
looks like every other animated.
It does.
movie.
It looks like something from Illumination
Yeah.
or something. You know,
Yep.
I don't know what to make of it.
I doubt it's going to be SJW. I think you'll have fun watching the movie, but
I doubt it's gonna be SJW either because it's animals.
yeah,
Unless
I think you'll have fun watching the movie. Is it going to be the next Citizen Kane? No, but I think it's going to be fun.
we'll see. I mean, it'd be cool. You're gonna get to see Ace and Crypto teaming up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Static Shock.
Static Shock. Yeah, is it coming back? What's going on?
They're making an HBO Max movie of him.
That might be cool.
They're hoping to get Michael Jordan, I believe, which is he's way too old.
Live action or
Live action.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael B. He's a teenager. He's a teenage character, isn't he? At least
Yeah.
starting out.
Yeah,
He's
way
supposed to
too
be.
old. Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Jordan is like the actor that you get to play just like a black character.
I know. It's
Which
not
is
even saying that he's
unfortunate.
bad. I just
He's
don't
a good
want to
actor.
see. Yeah,
But
get
he's
someone
just
else.
typecast.
Get someone else to I'd like to see a Static Shock movie.
Yeah.
That might be interesting.
And then
but, okay.
I came into this. The reason why I skipped all the interviews is because I came into it late, and it was like this. They were just in the middle of the interview. They were like, "Yeah, black diversity, blah blah blah." And
What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say at the top of this show?
I just went out, and I just like, I'm just gonna cherry pick from this.
He's versus Babyface was saying that he said that's everything that they said. Everyone, all they could say is, identity politics, diversity. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But you already have
Diverse representation. That's what DC is.
But DC always had diverse characters like Static Shock, and you can do stories about him.
Well, and this is what what's Wolf 10 Media has been saying for the longest time. You know, you ignore the good created black characters to race swap other characters. That does nothing for anyone.
And I'm a person that's not above race swapping. I'm fine with a few race swaps here and there, but it has to make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Hawkman, if you make him Egyptian, I think that goes really great with his history and his themes.
And I would argue the same thing with Dr. Fate. If you want that character over time to go from Egyptian to, I don't know, Roman, Greek,
Irish, all over.
Whatever, and eventually even female, yeah,
they've done that.
No problem. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Green Lantern. You got what every characteristic under the sun. You got 3 white guys. I'd say you can even make Kyle Rayner Asian, and I don't think anyone would bat an eye. You got John Stewart, a black guy. Mm-hmm. You got Jessica Drew's Hispanic. You got Muslim, Arabic. Simon Biaz. You got you could just make a new character. Like for Batman, they're making Duke Thomas, who I think he's. They're overbloating the Batman. They're overbloating the Bat family at that point.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They're introducing new characters and they're not race swapping any of them.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
but like I said, you can't ignore characters like Static Shock, who are beloved characters that started out as characters that were diverse, and you're kind of ignoring them.
Yeah.
But looks like they're finally bringing them back. So that's
sometimes
you know what? Go ahead.
Sometimes I'd say, even if they're like another race and you turn them to white, I think that should be, if it makes sense, I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like the prime example, it actually happened once. In recent years too. That they actually race swapped the black characters to white. It was from Luke Cage. It was the character of Shades, which nobody cares about Shades as a race. In the second, the actor was damn fine at his job, and everybody loved him for it.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So it can be done. The bad,
very, very bad.
Okay,
yeah,
what's that to the left? Is that? Oh no.
Which one?
Justice League. On
That's
CW?
your CW.
Yeah. Aside from Superman and Lois, which still second season could go downhill. All of it has just been crap.
I like the lead actors they cast for that show. I wasn't grabbed by the pilot, but I think they did a good job casting both Superman and Lois on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is that? That's just more CW stuff.
Yeah, just more
the
CW.
Arrowverse. Is Arrowverse is Arrow a ghost in the background?
He's they ended it. So
okay, so that's why he's not there.
Yeah.
So what's the current CW roster? We still have Batwoman,
Legend of Tomorrow, Black
Legends
Lightning,
of Tomorrow.
Flash, Superman and Lois, Batwoman.
Is Black Lightning still around?
I think he's still around.
Okay, I thought they were getting rid of that. Okay.
I kind of skimmed this stuff because I don't really care about it all too much.
What's that thing with Superboy? What is that? That cartoon or the comic character? What is that?
Oh, that's the comics.
Yep.
Okay.
I
was that the John Kent stuff?
Yeah.
I wanted to put in the gay Superman, but his lover makes me want to fucking bleach my eyes out.
Oh
so
no!
I just put in him.
I've seen the pictures. Yes.
Yeah.
And what's ridiculous is they are so now overrepresented. You have gay Robin, you have gay Superboy, you got
gay Tim Drake. Tim
Drake. That's not even
you got gay Aqualad, you got bisexual Wonder Woman. Batwoman is gay. I mean, it's like you have more gay characters than you have straight characters at this point.
Yeah. Like, some of them make sense. Like, Aqualad, he's been gay for a long, long time now.
Right,
it's not Garth Aqualad. It's Kal Ram, the new Aqualad.
Okay.
The black one.
Oh.
And then...
so he gets 2 points on the intersectionality.
Yeah. But he's also a really good character, too.
Okay.
So... It's possible. You can make a black, gay, really good character.
What's up with Titans? Why is that bad all of a sudden, or was that?
It's always been bad.
It's always
Okay,
been
I've never
bad. Yeah.
watched
I prefer not to call it Titans. I prefer to call it a really edgy Nightwing and Friends.
When in the very first episode, Nightwing says "fuck Batman," you know it's shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm confused with.
I went out.
Okay.
I actually watched the first season, and the second season it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot. They fucked up the ending so bad.
I'm kind of surprised to see Injustice up there on your bad list.
I hated it.
Is this the animated
It's not
movie
worth
they
it.
came
Don't
out
watch
with?
it. Don't
Aren't
watch
you
it.
the one that was a big Injustice fan?
I'm a fan. Again, it's just bad. Yeah, it was unneeded. They fucked up the storyline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people like Gotham by Gaslight. Don't watch the anime.
Gotham by Gaslight's. Go in with low expectations, and you'll probably find yourself having fun.
Speaking of low expectations.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. I'm still not done with this stuff. The Injustice animated movie. It was just unnecessary. You had the comics. You had the comics that did a pretty good job. I didn't read them, but from what I hear from everybody, they did a pretty good job. They're secondhand.
Right.
The video games are really good. I do think it's in for a reboot. I think they're stretching out the Injustice storyline. There, if they do it a third time, they really need to end it because I don't think it should be stretched out. It needs a.
Didn't they add the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they had some really cool guest characters. They had Hellboy too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
This Abomination.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, it just looks bad.
Aquaman ho.
So bad. The animation. You know what's funny? Some people, like, I remember when I was watching Superman and like Batman the animated series, people would look at the Super Friends show and pick on it because, you know, it's of its time, right?
Yeah.
That Super Friends show looks light years better than this. Any of those 70s cartoons.
It looks so ugly.
Casper and the Flying Biker Chicks, looks better than this show.
Like, this looks like some really weird fucking... This looks like some weird Adult Swim show that they put on, like, at the middle of the night.
Everything, from the trailer, everything looks hideous. Not even just the main characters. Everything looks hideous. It all looks... the color palettes, the way that all the weird aquatic races look, everything looks hideous. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I'm not giving this shit the time of day.
I don't think any kid's going to watch that.
Yeah.
And here's what I don't understand, too. Can I just make a point about something? Aquaman. Batman is a big hit when it comes out in '89, okay? So Warner Brothers commissions Batman the Animated Series, this very high-quality animated after-school show. Aquaman, the movie's a big hit, and they commissioned this piece of shit. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, okay?
Yeah.
That was like the biggest DC movie in years was Aquaman, and I don't know why you couldn't get high-quality people just doing the animated adaptation of that. I don't understand it, but okay, whatever.
Then you got The Flash with Strangler Miller.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw Auditor Dredd said that the funny thing was that Ezra Miller introduced the Flash feature wearing a choker. And I asked him, I said, do you think that was intentional? I mean, is he just so arrogant? I can choke people on camera and I'm still working for DC.
I think it's him being an idiot. And Lex taste.
I was telling Troy before the stream, I don't know how he gets a starring role in a major Hollywood motion picture. He's terrible.
He strangled a woman on camera.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. Yeah, but you know, that's forgiven for reasons. It's I don't know Ezra Miller. Oh no, I tried, and I know they're trying to hype me up because of Mike.
On his Wikipedia page, it shows that he's identifies as him, as a them, they, and it just goes down. And every time you see it's not him or it's always just them, they. The whole Wikipedia
he probably
place.
Changes his pronouns daily. Okay, Michael Keaton as Batman is not going to be enough to get me to give this the time of day. If Ezra Miller's, I can't deal with Ezra Miller.
They had in the trailer. They had 2 Ezra Millers. Why would
Yeah, there was one in the background. I'm like,
I don't want 1. Why do I want 2?
Yeah, I was wondering who's that behind him, and I guess that was him.
Yeah,
and
that's just.
I kept
wow. Horizon Talker said this is known as pulling a Spacey.
Bad. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no. No on that Flash movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He may identify as they them. I identify him as who gives a fuck.
But I identify him as idiot and dumbass.
I know.
Yeah.
I was bringing that point when he was interviewing Gal Gadot. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the good. What do you think? Okay.
Is there any good? I'd like to see a blank screen next. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Young Justice Phantoms.
Okay.
Great season 1. Great season 2. Really good season 3. I don't think it's great. I think it's really good.
I haven't seen season 3 yet, but
I think I don't.
I can
I
probably
think
watch it now.
It's still really good. I think they reused like a few character arcs from season 1, and they I think on the second half of the season they bite off a little bit more than they can chew and juggle a few too many story arcs.
Okay.
But aside from that, it's still really damn good. Young Justice it's the best DC show that they put out since the 2000s. It just is.
Well, I thought it was rather brilliant in season 2 when they did a time jump and we find out who Aqualad's father really was, and I freaked out, because I like this explains a lot. I don't want to spoil it in case Troy ever decides to watch it. But,
Troy, you got to watch this stuff. There's some really good. There's some quality shit.
And they've done a good job, and I liked what they did with Lex Luthor on that show too. He's interesting. It's good.
You hate Lex Luthor. It's Lex Luthor. You hate him. Doom Patrol.
How is Doom Patrol? I've heard people
really good.
Series. I've heard people like this series, and
I kind of dropped off at season 1, but I was dropping off at a lot of shows back then. So
I've heard it's gotten better. I think people have been.
It's the first. The first season was really damn good from what I've seen, and and the fact that it gets better, that's some good shit. But all the characters are done really well. The costumes are done well. The effects are done. They do what they do. It's done well for the most part. The storyline is just straight up Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol. From what I hear, I haven't read the comics. But if you want to watch some good DC live action stuff, Doom Patrol is you don't have to look farther than there.
It has Brendan Fraser in it.
Mm-hmm. He's Robot Man.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so we like Brendan Fraser. Yeah. So, all right. I've heard good things. It looks weird, but that maybe is a good thing.
It's Doom Patrol.
Yeah. They had Doom Patrol on the original Teen Titans, not that go crap. Okay, and I remember that. And they had the Brotherhood of Evil as the
season 5 villains.
And at first they're fighting the regular Brotherhood of Evil, and then they get defeated, but then they escape. And then the brain or whatever goes before and says, we have a new enemy, the Teen Titans, and then you see the rest of the Brotherhood of Evil, and it's every villain except for Slade. He's not there. Every other villain that's been on Teen Titans is part of the Brotherhood of Evil.
Yeah.
Probably because they didn't just want to have him part of the Brotherhood of Evil.
Slade's to
every other bad guy that's been on the show is joined this evil organization.
And then they fight, and then they eventually fight every. Remember Jericho actually in the show?
Yeah.
Really?
Not a big part. He doesn't have a big part, sad to say, but he was actually in the show.
Yeah.
I really do like Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho was cool from what I remember.
When I met George Perez in Metropolis, Illinois, I asked him if he'd do a sketch for me, an original, and he said what character. And a lot of people had him doing Wonder Woman, Superman, things that he's worked on. I said, I want Jericho. I want one of yours. And he was tickled pink by that.
Here's what Jericho looks like.
Oh, what was he playing on that? If it was Tiptoe Through the Tulips,
I don't remember.
I would scream.
Here's what he looks like in that show. It's very anime inspired.
They called it Murakami. I think they were trying to combine anime with Tex Avery. That's what
I think they did it really well.
Yeah, that was the original intent behind the original show, not Go.
Yeah,
I don't want to say Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go is crap.
He goes to Go, but no. The original series, the first 5 seasons are all solid. They are made for a younger audience, but it would get kind of dark at points.
Yeah, it was made for a teenage audience.
Yeah.
So all ages can watch it and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It didn't. One thing I didn't like about it is that it didn't really include Wonder Girl at all. But the Wonder embargo was in full effect back then, so they didn't really have a choice.
Of course.
Yeah.
I hate it when Warner Brothers does that. That's why you never saw the Joker on Justice League Unlimited, because they were using it for the Batman.
They're planning on having Donna Troy be a major character in season 1 of Young Justice, but Wonder embargo.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
She was actually one of the highlights of Titans.
Yeah.
They did a really good Wonder Girl, and then they killed her off.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Catwoman Hunted. I watched the trailer. You posted on MeWe. I saw that.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I am so excited for this movie. All right, here's the writer is Greg Weisman, who's done Young Justice, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Gargoyles.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. The director is actually an anime director. He hasn't done many directing roles, but as a director, but as an animation director, he has a resume longer than a great resume longer than my arm. Here are some of the things he's worked on. Akira, which Troy has seen.
Yep.
He was the animation director on that.
What?
Get a Robo Armageddon, Digital Devil Story, Shin Megami Tensei, Devilman Lady, DBZ Broly, Ghost from the Solar Rise, Hellsing Ultimate, Mazinger Z The Impact, Martian Successor, Nadesico, Gundam shows including FP1, Char's Counterattack, Double Z, and Zeta. And he has done a whole bunch of Lupin the Third films and episodes.
Cool.
That is a resume if I've seen one.
So he's a Japanese animation director, and he's working with Greg Weisman, which gives me hope for this because I have liked his. The guy made Gargoyles. Yeah.
That is an impeccable resume for the two. I really am going to have a hard time seeing how this is going to go wrong.
So this is looks like it's another fusion of Japanese animation, but it looks like the writing's being done by the American team, and then it's being animated in Japan. Whereas with Batman Ninja, that was a weird story where the
it was really
apparently if you watch the English version and the Japanese version are completely different.
Yeah.
But
Batman Ninja is it's fun.
I like it.
Yeah,
it has Gorilla
really
Grodd
fun.
in it. It has Gorilla Grodd in it because they know who the greatest villain in the DC universe is.
It's a time travel movie, but they don't really care.
You know what the plot of Batman Ninja is, Troy? Gorilla Grodd, I think he's trying to he's doing some time machine experiment in Arkham Asylum, and he sends the other villains back in time, and Batman interferes, and so they all end up back in time. And basically, the Joker, I think it's the Joker,
has taken over Japan.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not just him. It's all of them. They're all feudal lords.
It's Deathstroke, Two-Face, Penguin, and Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy, and they all have their territories, and Gorilla Grodd.
And long story short, it ends up in a giant mech battle. Yeah, it's one of the most Japanese movies I've ever seen in my life.
It's so bizarre, but I loved it. I'm sorry.
It's so fun.
And you get the classic fighting there with him and the Joker, and
it has this giant Joker mech.
Yes.
Against Batman, who has this giant army of bats who have swarmed up and formed Batman, Detective Comics 27 Batman.
Yes.
And they're fighting each other.
Yes. The bats form into a giant to fight the mech Joker. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you, and I don't care because it's still Batman. And Batman is still Batman in this movie. I'm sorry, I liked it. But
Batman as a disguise, he disguises himself as a Christian preacher,
Missionary,
and he
yeah.
has this bat, and he shaves a bat logo into the back of his side of his head.
That was because he was in
So-
Japan, so it's like I'll be a Christian missionary in Japan to explain why I guess white guys in Japan during this period. You understand? And
It's such a funny-
Alfred's there, and Alfred's figuring out how to make his proper British cooking in ancient Japan, and he had to ferment the green tea leaves to make black tea. Do you understand?
It's such a fun movie.
It's so bizarre, and it's. I enjoyed it. Now this looks more standard, but the animation style looks really good.
Catwoman in this is kind of you get the Fujiko Mine vibe from her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which
is if you're gonna base your actions on Catwoman, Fujiko Mine is probably a good choice. She's a very good choice.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
She feels
go.
like Catwoman.
Yeah, she's a femme fatale too. They're both femme fatale. So that's I would.
I like the voice actress for Catwoman. She has this perfect balance of sultry yet kick-ass that I like with my Catwoman. They include Batwoman, but I actually you know what? Greg Wiseman could write a good Batwoman.
We'll see how it turns out. Yeah.
They have they have a whole bunch of different villains in it. There's a whole bunch of them. But the plot of this is basically Catwoman steals something, and now she is being hunted by everybody. Yeah. Which is why it's called Catwoman Hunted. But I'm really excited for that.
It looks promising. Yeah. I might give that a look when it comes out.
And in Gotham Knights,
this is the game.
I am kind of disappointed at the lack of stuff that we saw. In all honesty, I think we should have gotten the release date or another gameplay trailer, and then I would be fine. But it was just a quarter-hour story trailer, and I was kind of disappointed. Everything else is good.
Well, I like the fact the Penguin was in it. It's funny. He reminds me of the Penguin we're seeing in that the live-action Bat movie they're making. But
he looks more like he kind of like this calm gentleman, like more than being the eccentric movie version.
Well, that's true, and to be fair, that's how he was portrayed on the animated series later on. He was more like a club owner, and
which is how I like my Penguin. He's this monsterful mob boss. Yet he tries to present himself as this. He wears nice suits. He wears a hat. He has this monocle. He's a monster, but he tries to hide himself as a dignified gentleman. And honestly, he kind of reminds me of Danny DeVito a bit. This Penguin, and the eyes,
right?
And because it's very like the black eyes. But he also has this Kingpin suit going on, which I like.
In this game, you can play as any one of the 4 characters, right?
You get to play as Nightwing, Tim Drake, Robin, Barbara Gordon, and Red Hood.
Red Hood, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it might be interesting. It might be good.
It's I'd say the director in this is the guy who's done. He did a few Splinter Cell games. He did Splinter Cell Blacklist and Conviction, which are hailed as really good games.
Right.
And like the writing staff is mostly ex-Ubisoft people, which is it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Could be a good or a bad thing. Ubisoft is mixed.
Like Ubisoft, they just pump out games. They just pump it. All right, Troy, think of Ubisoft as like the MCU. They pump out games, and so a lot of it so some of them end up bad, some of them end up really good, and most of them are just average.
Got it.
Yeah.
My favorite game of the 6th generation of consoles, which I think is one of the best console generations, was a Ubisoft game. Was Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. I love that game.
Yeah. They are some really good games.
And even today, people seem to like the Far Cry games they make, but they're less enthusiastic about. Well, frankly, Ubisoft had a big problem a few months back where we learned all sorts of stuff that went on behind the scenes. But let's talk on that. But that's why some people have left and moved over to Warner Brothers. Okay, but we'll see. It might be good. I like the idea of playing as different members of the I guess the quote unquote Bat family now. So we'll see.
The one red flag I do have a red flag.
What's the red
Is that
flag?
One of the writers looks like a blue-haired feminist?
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. But everything else, I'm seeing green flags across the board except that one red flag.
Okay. Is Sam Maggs involved? Hopefully
No.
not. Okay. All right.
But in that writer, she's also the one red flag writer. She was involved with Mass Effect 3, Andromeda, and the game Control, which I have heard. Which Mass Effect 3 had a horrible ending. I haven't heard good things about Mass Effect Andromeda.
No, that's what I told you about, Troy.
Actually, Mass Effect Andromeda, I don't know about the story, but I've heard the gameplay is a buggy mess. I can't speak on the story. And the Control, I've heard really good things about Control, actually. So hopefully she's improved her craft.
Hopefully they just want to make something good that will sell. Okay.
Yeah. hopefully, but all the other writers and the director Patrick Redding, I'm seeing green and I'd say greenish yellow flags across the board. So I'd say look for these games, and I'm actually including another special section, the unrelated, because Marvel had they were at the PlayStation Awards. Wait, I got one more thing about Gotham Knights.
Sure. Okay.
Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, they didn't really include it much, but I think it's because they looked at what Marvel did, and that they're thinking that they're gonna move all the good stuff to the Game Awards this.
Oh, I see.
This December, yeah.
So they're going to say more of their stuff because the Game Awards, Troy. That's when they show. I don't want to say it's where you see a lot of new trailers for upcoming games. Okay,
sure.
It's one of the big things because no one's tuning in for the actual award ceremony.
Yeah, no, it's like the Oscars.
Okay.
You're only there for the trailers. You don't really care about who gets voted in.
Okay. Yeah. All right, but Spider-Man 2 and
Spider-Man is I have not played it myself, but I've watched a game walkthrough of it. It's the best Spider-Man thing I've seen in a long time.
All right.
It's really good. It is worth your time. I've heard Spider-Man Miles Morales. I have heard mixed things about that. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things, but
okay.
But Spider-Man 2, if they keep up the quality from 1, you're gonna have Venom and Kraven as your big bad guys, which I am excited to see those two.
Oh, Wolverine's a separate thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the same studio that did Spider-Man 2 is doing a Wolverine game. Yeah.
That I'm interested in.
Yeah. They're also doing a Midnight Suns, which it's a tactical RPG. It's a what would be a game that you guys would know?
Would it be like Diablo? Fire Emblem?
XCOM. More like XCOM.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't really care for the lineup. I think it has too many Avengers characters. It has Iron. Yeah. I'll look up the lineup. But you also got the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which yeah.
No. I mean, maybe I'll be proven wrong, but remember the Avengers? This is by the same people that made the Avengers game, right? That got heavily panned.
Yeah. Nobody liked that game.
And apparently, it's weird because they do different character designs and voices for all the characters we know, but it doesn't look quite...
You know that scene from Spaceballs where, we've caught their stunt doubles? Those are what the character designs look like.
That's what they look like. And it's funny because you can have a game like the Sony Spider-Man game where they Peter Parker looks well, maybe they made him look more like, but when they originally came out, he looked way different from any of the Spider-Man we've seen, but I still accepted him as Spider-Man. Do you understand? But for some reason, these Square Enix versions, it is like the stunt doubles. Yeah, they feel off.
Here, I'll look it up.
But we'll see. Okay. Yeah, show this to Troy real quick, and then we gotta wrap it up. But yeah, this is.
Look at him.
Oh no.
It was a bad game.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's like the Avengers that I put together in Star Trek Online using sort of close as I could get in that game,
And part of me wonders is they can't make them look like the movie characters, but can they make them look at least like the comic book characters? Or does it have to be 85% different as part of the licensing deals?
It's ridiculous.
MODOK, okay.
I do like that detail.
Yeah.
I kind of like MODOK. He's
To be
fun.
fair, we haven't seen MODOK done in the movie yet. So
Yeah. And they did the big head. They did the big head.
Oh, that's weird. I kept thinking the Toby Jones characters from Captain America was going to become MODOK, but
Yeah.
all right, is that
And
all
then
right?
for the Midnight Suns, I don't like too many Avengers characters. You got you're fighting Lilith, the character of Lilith in the game.
Because I get the impression from this is supposed to be like the Justice League Dark, where you have guys like Constantine.
Yeah.
And,
You
and
got
things like that in it.
Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Blade, Ghost Rider, Magic, and Nico Minoru.
Yeah, I don't understand why Iron Man's on this team. Like Wolverine,
I don't understand why Captain Marvel, like Wolverine and Captain Marvel and Captain America. Wolverine usually fights Wolverine actually a lot of time fights mystical stuff, and Captain America, while he doesn't do it all the time, it's really interesting when you see him fight it.
Yeah.
But Iron Man, like, the most like Iron Man, like sometimes you see him fight mysticism stuff, but I don't want to see him. And the Midnight Suns doing it, and Captain Marvel is just a bad choice.
No,
just a bad choice, straight up.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I don't know. Maybe the game will be good. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to. I almost felt like they were trying to steal the Diablo 2 thunder when that came out. But
yeah. But
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
DC Fandome and Marvel stuff. It's really mixed. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. There's a lot of bad stuff and there's a lot of good stuff.
Well, I've been arguing with Troy. It's like the Star Wars situation we have now because I mean,
we got to just be patient and wait for the big...
I'm worried about the Lucasfilm side of things. I mean, the Lucasfilm Games side of things right now. I have some worries in that area. But
what Lucasfilm Games? They haven't been putting out games.
Well, they're licensing out to other studios, and we are getting like an Old Republic remake and things that people are a little worried about. But
you know what? If they license it out to everybody, some of those games are going to be good.
Yeah. All right.
I'm fine with it being like the MCU. If you get a bunch of average games that are bad and a few good, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, that's how it used to be. For a while, Marvel games sucked until we got we got that Sony Spider-Man game because it was like DC was kicking butt with the games, whereas they licensed
Arkham, Injustice,
yeah,
and the Batman Telltale games all were really good.
Right, and then like for a while, Marvel was this. You see an Iron Man game comes out and it's terrible.
Yeah,
actually, one of my favorite.
The only good games are like Marvel Ultimate Alliance and like the Spider-Man games.
Well, that's because they were the older ones from the 6th generation. In fact, there was a Punisher game from the 6th generation, which I got a kick out of. I remember I saw some scene from it, right, Troy? And like, there's this guy, and he says to the Punisher leaves him. He's like, "I can't believe he let me live," and then you see the entire island blow up.
Gosh,
because it's the Punisher. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. Matchstick.
Thank you for having me.
And we will be joining you again on Tuesday for Ultra Fortress.
Yeah. By the way, I did drop a video earlier today, looking at some Hammer horror figures, and in that video, I specifically mentioned that we'll be talking about Hammer horror on your channel, and I put the link for people to. Subscribe to you, and as soon as we finish the video on Tuesday, I will link the video to my video.
Yeah. Cool. Also, Snyder, Scott Snyder, he's at Horizon Talker. He's actually an advisory role, which is the best place for Scott Snyder.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, this was fun. Again, join us Tuesday. You got anything else going on this week, Troy? Friday night?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a stream coming up on Friday. I don't know if I'm going to do something Halloween related or if I will. I may be moved to just talk about Dune after I go see it Friday evening. So, yeah, one way or another, I have my regular stream. I just don't know what the topic is yet.
Breaking news.
What?
Why the Last Man has been canceled.
I did hear about that. After 7 episodes, they have an 8th one coming out, but they've already announced that it's been canceled.
Wow.
I'm telling you, get woke, go broke, guys.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
And they just admitted that they were using it for woke politics.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, it is let's face it,
the storyline really does lend itself to it, but you got to be careful. You still got to tell a good story.
All right. All right, but I should be on with Daniel Heron unless something interrupts it. But we should be doing a stream on Wednesday evening with rewatch of Damien Omen 2, and then this Saturday we'll all be on with Big Al for the rewatch of Phantom of the Paradise. So
looking forward to that.
Phantom of the Paradise, another thing that fun fact, it influenced Berserk. Possible.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that being a movie.
Griffith's helmet.
I could see that being one of these American movies that was popular in Japan because it's a weird American movie.
If you check out his Griffith's helmet, it looks exactly like the Phantom of the Paradise mask.
All right, cool. All right, everyone, have a good night.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.